Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom. And we are at August of 2020, the 1st of August. My goodness gracious. It's interesting how fast the time is just zipping by like crazy.
Especially when every day seems like the last.
Yeah. So, how's everybody doing?
Good.
First day dry.
Cheers.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
So what's happening? Everything okay?
Hot.
Yeah, beautiful. Just the way I love it.
Beach day.
Rain. The gardens need rain bad.
I think tomorrow it's gonna rain here.
Yeah, it's supposed to have rain tomorrow here. But I love the heat. I don't complain. It's nothing like sunshine.
Oh.
You go to all these wonderful sunny places, people are generally happier
Of course.
in the cold, wintry climates. So,
Well, they're generally healthier too.
yeah. Well, except, there's going to some of these tropical islands and stuff. And there's like South America, especially, they're into eating a lot of that deep fried stuff, deep fried corn stuff they do and everything. And at 30 years old, they're all overweight and they're all plugged up because of all that deep fried oil, all that fat. And, they got all that beautiful, wonderful fruit all around them, but they eat that.
I think that's what everybody would do if we didn't know about. That's what we'd all do if we didn't know about like a healthier way of eating, like fruits and vegetables mainly, because that's what most cultures eat. They eat everything fried and oily and stuff.
It goes from the tradition. They just carry it on.
Yeah, but
And nobody questions it.
What I'm saying is most cultures are like that.
Yeah, it's tradition.
Yeah. So it's not only them, but pretty much all over the world, unless you are open enough to change your diet from your culture.
I was an outcast when I changed the tradition of eating.
Yeah. Italian not eating?
Yeah, 30 years ago.
Yeah, just imagine 30 years ago, like people thought I was whacked out.
Well, you were.
Exactly. But hey, somebody's got to do it. Got to have some fun. Watch the miracles unfold. It's awesome. We see, just made her a post update, and I haven't seen her in a while. Disappeared from many months ago. Her whole skeletal system straightened out right out.
Oh, the trace.
Yeah. No, we've had several people with stuff like that happening. It's just amazing.
Sarah grew, didn't she?
Yeah, Sarah's over 2 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Latrice had a substantial growth because when your spine is twisted, already you're going to have that. And then if you look at the X-rays close, you'll see more space between each vertebra.
Yeah,
you can see it. So guaranteed. Yeah, she said she's taller. She didn't say how much, but it's just when you see stuff like that, and then people are they come with, oh, well, do you think it'll if I masterfast this will happen or that'll happen or this will get fixed and that? What's the difference? They just if you're seeing something like that happening and you don't have the understanding, it's no difference for the body. Imbalance is imbalance and balance is balance. It's so simple. Don't have to think about it. Move into the realm and watch it unfold. Don't matter what the name is. When you put these names to it, you're going to get stuck on them. And
Yep.
It's an entrapment. All these names are entrapments. Like, look what's COVID has done.
All languages.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like, whoa. It's, doctors are getting shut down for frickin' speaking about, something that works that isn't, that they don't want to people, doctors talking about it, just shutting it down. Book burning era, man. The digital book burning era. It's crazy. Silence everybody, mask everybody. And away we go. Here we are.
Now he's recommending goggles.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Did you see when he was being questioned?
Yeah.
Politicians, man. Bureaucrats.
Did you see the post from Lydia? What's Lydia McDonald?
The what?
She made a post. She reposted something about Fauci and the. Let me see if I can find it. It's freaking fascinating.
It's just wow. How asleep are people? Well, it's showing now, and we got to elevate their souls because I don't know what else we can do. We gotta work on ourselves big time, and we got to keep elevating their souls. We got to send that light, keep sending that light to their souls, because I see people walking in this deep sleep. There's people being attacked for not wearing masks out there. It's just crazy what's going on.
All right, here we go. Ready for this?
Yeah,
She posted this yesterday.
in our group.
I think it was in our group.
I don't usually.
I don't know because it may not. It just may be Facebook.
I'm trying to keep stuff out of the group as much as possible.
Yeah.
Focus on masks.
So it starts food for thought. The vaccine that is coming. As many of you heard, Moderna is in stage 3 of the vaccine testing. If all goes well, it will become federal law to get the vaccine. Here's something many of you don't know. Guess who the first CEO of Moderna was? A Cornell graduate by the name of Anthony Fauci, who was a roommate of none other than Bill Gates. Are you paying attention yet? It was at Cornell that Bill Gates designed the RFID, radio frequency identification chip, and patented it under US patent, and it gives the patent number. And it says, are you awake yet? Now let's really go down the rabbit hole. Moderna was the pharmaceutical company that started in Germany under the name of IG Farben. If you don't know that, IG Farben was infamous for its mass production of Zyklon B, the primary gas used to kill millions during the Holocaust.
Wonderful.
After Germany fell, IG Farben was dissolved and its assets sold off by a Nazi-turned-American by the name of, you guessed it, George Soros. Soros rebranded the company as Moderna. And who was the primary stockholder of Moderna until his death? Jeffrey Epstein.
You can't make this stuff
You
up.
can't make it up. So I'm assuming this is all true because it's too easy to disprove it. It's his role in Moderna is where he made his fortune and established his connections. Now let that sink in. Are you awake yet?
It's just the stuff that keeps coming to
the
us.
web is just the little web. As you follow the web, it all just interconnects.
Yeah. Yeah, the ties are all over the place. It's just incredible. Let's focus on master fasting because the more energy we put on this stuff, the more we give it. You know what I mean? Power. So.
Well, it just goes you to show how far back it really goes.
Oh yeah, it goes back.
And it goes way beyond that. It goes way beyond Gates.
Bloodlines go back thousands of years.
Yeah, it goes back to the families.
It's all bloodline. If you do this research, you see how they're all connected through blood. It's very interesting the way they operate. But hey,
I saw a document on YouTube about who's the big family there in Europe? Rothschilds.
Yeah.
They were just trying to somehow quantify their wealth, and they couldn't come up with a number. There's no way to quantify the net worth of the Rothschilds.
I posted a video from Franco Collins from Australia a few days ago, I think, from 2017. Franco Collins is a very interesting fellow. We were on calls with him in TalkShoe before videos and stuff and Zoom in the kind of late 2000, year 2000. And he's should if you have a chance, watch the video. He had Franco Collins. He has very interesting information about the whole legal system, on how corrupt it is,
Oh, yeah.
and so on and so forth. And he talks about the people that run this planet. They have bank accounts with so much money that one of the bank accounts can pay off all the debts of the whole planet many times over. One bank account, and they just hoard and hoard and hoard and hoard. What we see with Bill Gates and
Oh, they're just useful idiots.
Amazon, these are puppets. That's nothing.
Yeah, they're all puppets.
They can print as much money as they want. It's not about the money. So let's elevate their souls, because
That's hard.
I don't know how anybody could even fathom to think the way these people think. It just doesn't make any sense, but it's happening. It's happening. And
Makes you wonder if they're even human.
say that again, Steve?
It makes you wonder if they're even human.
Oh yeah, exactly. Do these people have souls? You know what I mean? My goodness gracious, man. Well,
You want to see my wiggly tooth? Louder.
what's happening, little one?
You
gotta speak up if you want to talk.
have to say it with me.
No, I don't.
Please, no.
Nope.
Just,
I'm right here.
are they waiting?
Yes, they're all waiting for you.
Do you want to see my wiggly tooth?
Sorry.
She said, do you want to see my wiggly tooth?
Let's see you pull it out.
I'm about to. It's just hanging there.
I used to pull it all on my own.
Really? All by yourself? I've pulled their teeth out, but when they're ready. That one's
One
not quite
time,
ready.
I goes, let me see. Bang! And he pulled it. I go, that's it. I'm doing it on my own.
How old were you?
I don't remember.
Can you put on my
What age is it when your teeth start falling out?
I have 4
It
wiggly
depends, but
and I bended my
usually it starts around 5
5?
or 6.
So I
Some kids not as late as 8 or 9, but usually it's around 5 or 6 when they start.
I think my first tooth that someone ever pulled out is when I was 1.
Well, that's that was a different
I
story.
pulled out my children's teeth. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his I have no idea, but I have 4 wiggly teeth.
You do have 4 wiggly teeth.
Yeah, it's only because you're getting new ones, right?
Yeah.
All new stuff thrown in.
Look, Mama, a
Ooh, it's an airplane.
plane.
Just remember, your second teeth, take very, very good care of them.
Yeah, I already lost 2 teeth on the bottom and on the top. Yeah. These
Wow.
2 going up teeth and these 2
I'm
going
a
up teeth.
super teeth freak. I've never had a cavity.
Wow.
Or I've never had anything done to my teeth.
Oh, me.
You.
That's rarity.
So
I never had a cavity.
yeah, so I try to instill that upon them.
Vincent,
How would you manage?
did you have a cavity?
Maybe.
Steve said, happy
Oh,
man.
Yeah,
I've had teeth problems my whole life.
Yeah.
Can you put a clip
I think the
in?
only thing, yeah, in a second. I think the only thing is like they were a little bit sensitive sometimes to like heat or cold. And there was like a few spots when, you know, you go to the dentist and they use their little poker thing to feel around that I didn't like being touched. The last time I went, which was, I don't know, maybe like a year ago or something. Or maybe less, maybe it was like 9 months. When she did that again, like I didn't have any sensitivity whatsoever. So, which was like, you know, after the long fast. Wait, please. No, you may not. So, you know, I
Yeah.
guess that went away too with, with the fasting.
Like for me, I start feeling my teeth immediately if I eat obstructive stuff,
Yeah.
especially the proteins and fats. My goodness gracious, right away you start feeling
The gums.
more
the tongue.
sensitive and stuff.
I have something going on with the nerve. If I don't eat, well, now I'm fasting, so it's not bothering me at all. If I eat clean, it's no problem. As soon as I start eating something
Yeah.
heavier,
Yeah,
that thing starts freaking flaring up.
yeah. It's just
Shoots right up.
you got. Well, which tooth does it relate to? Which part of the body?
I haven't looked it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
And just we know we got to do more work. So who cares? Just
Yeah.
keep focusing on that.
Today is,
Yeah.
what's day? Saturday? Today's day 13. Starting to release all that little black oily crap again.
Wow. Still coming out, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Probably still, I think it's from all that chemo shit.
Could be because that stuff is nasty.
Chemo?
Oh yeah.
Steve, you're on 13 days of master fast.
Yes.
That's great.
Steve went through how many rounds of chemo?
Oh, it was 18 months.
18 months.
No
Wow.
no break.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a long time.
What did you have chemo for?
I had Hep C. And
They do chemo for that?
huh?
They do chemo for that?
It's interferon. That was the original chemo drug for cancer. Yes.
This is
18, no, I'm sorry, 15 months of it.
Yeah, they do chemo for all kinds of different things. Who was it?
That was just one of 3 drugs.
Somebody else did it for
There's
that
psoriasis, I know.
that virus, that's bacteria or something in the stomach. What's that one called? Somebody else did it.
Pylori. H. pylori.
Mm,
Diverticulitis?
no, it's some
H. pylori.
bacteria that people get in their gut, and they say they can't get rid of it.
I think it's H. pylori.
Can't eat it.
They do chemo for that too. They'll give you chemo for anything.
Yeah, I
now.
heard also for psoriasis.
Psoriasis. Wow.
That's nasty shit, man.
Like the only thing.
If I ever get diagnosed with it, and I'll never get diagnosed with it, I won't go back to the doctors. But today, no freaking way in hell I would ever put that shit in my body again, no matter the outcome.
Yeah, it's
I still have side effects. So 11 years later,
of course we've
never end.
the problem with chemo is
Body locks it up, right?
it burns freaking tissues and organs,
Right,
and it can perforate when it starts coming out of the body. It's nasty. And then and in many cases it is, for example, cancer. It makes the tumors grow crazy all over the body. And these are the side effects. It's written right in their freaking information. You look them up. Burning tissue and growing many tumors. So you got to be really careful. I'm glad that you had that kidney thing that you was having was passed on, but you might see a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it'll be,
Because what we do know is with
I don't plan on stopping. I don't know how long I'm going. But I don't plan on stopping. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think when you started doing colimas, that was much better, right?
Or that,
When you started doing colima board, the colima, it
it helped, yeah.
it got much easier, and you were able to.
Yeah, it definitely made a difference.
Yeah.
Every day with those, unless I'm dry fasting. I don't think I missed a day yet since I got the board.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you're going to probably just want to take a break for a day.
I just go on the dry fast.
Yeah, that's exactly when you
But
take.
it's nice, and, honestly, when the dry fasting does come, it's nice to take a break.
Yeah. Yeah, just to give the bowels a break, you know. But
It always helps.
I have not seen anything negative with washing the colon. I have not seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
You know,
Washing
the only
over
thing
1,000 people.
is if anybody's using pressure in there versus gravity, then they may have problems. Or if their bowels in such a deteriorated state that, you know, just blowing on it will you know, we'll have some problems with it. So I've not seen any problems at all, only benefits. And it's
Yeah.
very,
I still go in for the colonic, usually once a month.
yeah. Well, colonic is much more thorough, right?
Yeah.
It's a much
I
nicer.
got one scheduled for the 11th, I think.
So you say that a colonic is not pressurized though?
They
Well,
can't,
it depends. There's machines
fed in
out there
there.
that have pressure. You don't want to be using pressure.
well, unfortunately, that's what I got.
Eh?
Mine's pressure.
Is it?
Yeah.
She doesn't have a gravity switch?
I don't know.
It's very low pressure, but still.
It's very low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's controlled, but we just don't have much experience with it, so we don't know much.
I haven't had any problems. I haven't that I know of.
I mean, honestly, I
Just
used to.
doing something inside.
I have a machine.
Very low pressure.
I have a machine where I can switch between pressure and gravity. And after meeting Gino, a few months after opening my clinic, he said, and I was doing his colonic, he said, no, don't use pressure on anyone.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Steve, you're in master fasting lifestyle. Your tissues are all flexible and clean and everything. That bit of pressure is not going to bother you. The problem with that, when you're bringing in people that you don't know what state they're in, and you're putting pressure in there,
Oh yeah, I can see that.
that's the problem. That's the problem. And
Yeah,
and most
I mean,
people who are starting this lifestyle, they're in those states.
Yeah, but it's still, we can't really say much about it because we haven't used. I haven't used it enough. I only use it for a few months, and then Gino said just use the gravity. So I started using the gravity. So I only used it for 2 months, pressure and gravity together, combined. Then I just switched to gravity, and I feel happier with gravity. I feel like less. I don't have to think about it. Just gravity, and the same for everybody. And I don't have to play with the machine all the time and change pressure, gravity. And this way also you can compare between people. If you use pressure and gravity, it's hard to compare. But if it's fixed, and I can see, okay, this person is more obstructed than that person, it's easier.
The issue is, people with all inflamed bowels and so on, the tissue's weak. That's the problem. That's the problem. So
Yeah.
better be safe than sorry. I wouldn't worry about, Steve going there.
I haven't had any issues with gravity whatsoever, thank God. 5 years, I think 2,000 something clients, different clients. Some of them are repeat, of course. So yeah, no, absolutely no issues. The only time I think it's challenging is when there are new people. They are worried, and also when you're obstructed, your anus can be the area can be very sensitive. And so when you insert the speculum, even if I do enema or colima, you can scratch yourself, or I don't don't know.
Scratch.
Not really, right? No.
Not really. I never had.
I guess some people have hemorrhoids because sometimes they bleed.
It's hemorrhoids.
Yeah,
It's
sometimes they,
inflammation or hemorrhoids. This
Yeah.
is, you can't scratch with that. There's nothing on there to scratch.
yeah, it only scratches, I think, when people are very blocked, but they don't know they have hemorrhoids. So they can have like a little bit of bleeding for a day or two or whatever.
A lot of people have hemorrhoids.
And
They
they
don't
freak
even know it.
out because it's coming from their colon. I'm like, there's no way this bleeding is from your colon. It's
Well,
you
it could have internal hemorrhoids.
yeah, your anus is obstructed. It's yeah. But yeah, anyways,
When I started, man,
they freak out.
I had all kinds of hemorrhoids, man. I'm going, what? Took about a year and then boom, gone. Never had them back ever again. So it's just hemorrhoids are basically arteriocheirosis, weakening of the arteries. Yeah, that's all it is. Same thing. There's no difference. It's just down there.
Good.
No, varicose veins. It's all the same. You know, just weakening of the arteries, all plugged up.
And also, yeah, you get the hemorrhoids when you're really backed up. You don't get them otherwise.
Yeah, and then you know you're straining, and the
Yeah, and the
tissues.
tissues are sensitive.
It's not you know elasticity. It has no elasticity. It's weak.
Yeah.
And balloons easy. That's what a hemorrhoid is basically. A bit of extra pressure and bang, it pops. So you know, if it happens there, you know, you have to think about what's in the rest of the body. It's the same.
I know.
It's the same condition. So it could be in the brain, and then you get an aneurysm. Goodbye, Jack.
There's also the aorta, right? Some people.
Oh yeah.
Your uncle has it. Right?
That main thing in the artery going down your where's it go to your from your heart goes down to your
Yeah, I
to the
forgot.
stomach, I think. It's a big main artery. Aorta. Yeah, it's one of the main ones, but
From the
if
heart-
when that
from
goes,
the heart, right?
you're bye. Seconds, you're done. It was.
Your uncle
I was
has it.
watching a video on a guy, and it went, and the guy survived, and they don't know how they were able to operate and save him,
That's great.
but the blood pressure gone. Wasn't his time anyway. Wasn't his time.
Working out in the sun today was a little challenging. Being dry. Jesus.
In the sun?
Yeah, it's so freaking hot. I don't know why I'm feeling it so much this year.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So much more than last year.
It's hot.
It's more intense
really,
this year
really hot.
for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's almost hard for me to sit outside for like 5 minutes
So
when it's sunny.
Well, my understanding is that the ozone layer is depleted so much now that UVC is being protected. That's why it feels so much hotter.
In 1 year,
Well, it's been just, you know,
in general.
forget what they're telling you about we've assaulted the planet so much, especially the ozone layer with all the freaking shit we put up there. So that's what blocks out the UV from the sun, the UV radiation. And UVC is usually the one before X-ray. So if you get the X-ray, forget it, we're gone. And they're detecting UVC now because of the depletion of the ozone.
well, you know what I think about science. It keeps changing every freaking year.
Yeah, I like to be informed. That's all.
It's no, but it's this is what they can see and how they interpret things, but we don't have a clear understanding of what's going on. Yeah, things are going to change. Of course, they're going to change. Everything man is doing to the environment, of course, it's going to have effect.
We totally destroyed the habitat of this planet
Yeah.
everywhere.
How is it affecting everything? We really cannot
Oh, no, not at all. I don't know.
interpret it. But yeah. But you know, in these last several months,
It would just stop, and this shutdown shows how quick things will, whether, you know, obviously it'll never be where it was prior to our assault. It'll heal
oh yeah, leave it
if
alone.
we stop. Trouble is, we won't stop.
We just got to leave it alone. Everything will go back. It's automatic, no thought process. It's just amazing.
So when man first planted the first seed, we started changing the climate. We had the impact on the planet.
The first seed?
But when agriculture started, that's when man started affecting the planet. And that's true. So we've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, it's,
But really not a long time. You know, geologically, it's not a long time. It's a fucking blink of an eye. Think about what we've done since the discovery of oil. And if you trace the use of oil, the exploitation of the oil, and the population growth, the line's parallel. Absolutely. Because everything we do is petrochemical, right? Everything. Our food is all produced by petrochemicals. All your energy, everything that powers this civilization is petrochemical.
what are chemicals?
Energy.
No, but I'm saying everything comes from the earth originally, right? And then they isolate and they change this, that, and the other thing. But everything comes from the earth.
Oh Lord, did you ever see what they get out of oil? I was astounded by what they can break. What do they call it? Fraction. When they fracture the oil, what comes out of that? There's so much in that oil compound.
Well, they make like 20,000 different products from it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
And they can do the same with hemp oil, which doesn't affect the planet. Just plant it and use the plant.
But it was too easy to exploit the resource.
Yeah.
Cheaply. Now 100 to 1 when they first started exploiting it. So for every 100 barrels they get out of the ground, it costs them 1 barrel. Now it's like 1 to 6, 1 to 7.
Really?
Yes. That's how much we depleted the resource.
Wow.
From my understanding, the Earth is continuously making it. It's like a GANS material.
That could be.
Come on, look how long we've been pulling this stuff out of the ground, and
Still
every year more and more cars and stuff are on the road,
we're still alive.
and they're still pumping it out. You know, they call them reserves, but the way we understand is it's the Earth's making that stuff. It's like a bile, like the liver produces bile.
Yep. Yeah, could be, right? Could be a waste product, right?
So, John, what's been happening?
Nothing. I'm on my 3rd day of hybrid,
Awesome.
so I'm feeling good.
Eating clean?
Yeah, well, I eat heavy vegan, but I'm like in the past few weeks I've been close to well, depending on, like, I usually dock myself 1 level if I'm eating hybrid. So like if I have 4 hybrid days, I call it level 3. And then, so like in the last few weeks, I've been like pretty close to level 3 or 4.
What's heavy vegan?
Heavy vegan.
Yeah,
A lot of grains.
What kind of grains do you eat?
I eat gluten-free grains. We were talking about that. I eat these tortillas that are made out of teff, and they're really good. Teff flour.
Out of what?
Teff.
Ancient grain?
Wow.
Yeah, it's like an ancient grain.
Like
It's used in Ethiopia for their spongy bread. They have that what's it called? Like an Ethiopian restaurant. I forget the name, but it's teff flour. You know, I like I said before, you guys aren't gonna like it, but I am doing a lot of master fast days.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's like, you know, you're eating gluten free, and it's like an ancient grain. It's not too heavy for you. Then for now, it's good. You know, until you feel it's too heavy, then you stop it. But
Yeah.
The grains, those grains are not as hard on the body if they're,
But still hard.
yeah, I'm not, that's just there. I'm not, believe me, I'm
Not like the modern grains.
not, that's what I mean. It's not like the modern grain, which it's so freaking
yeah, I know.
pasteurized.
Like rice would be hard. Rice would be very hard.
Depending
I
which
find
race.
I find corn, yeah, wild rice, I don't consider it rice. It's more like a seed. Quinoa is easier. Wild rice is easier than rice. Yeah, I haven't tried.
What about corn?
I think corn is heavy for me.
I find it easy.
Well,
Digest corn.
let's put it this way. If you really knew what I was eating on vegan gluten free, you wouldn't be happy. So like I eat some peanut butter,
Yeah.
and but I'm doing, like today I was going to break it at 60 hours. I was going to break the master fast and have some kind of like high protein stuff. But I just thought, you know what, the Zoom's on in a few hours. I'm just gonna go for another day. So that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to extend it as long as possible and to just get my mind right for doing it properly and like getting closer to the protocol.
You know, don't be too hard on yourself. I wouldn't like change some things. You don't have to change everything. One thing I would change if I were you would be to remove the fats. Keep
Yeah.
that you love, but remove the fats because the fat and the carbs together is such a bad mix. It really
Yeah.
it leaves you feeling very, very tired. It, you know, the blood sugar goes out of whack when we have the fat as well. But keep it as fat free as possible. You know? And protein also, you don't need too much, but what kind of protein do you eat?
Well, I eat these really delicious gluten-free vegan protein bars that are chocolate peanut butter, and they have pea protein in them. So I really like them. They're like, it's like the longer I do master fast, the more addictive the more addicted I become to them. You know,
They're shocked.
they're so good, and they're gluten-free, and they're like non-GMO. I mean, it's just like it's a food that I really like. But
again, I would go as fat-free as possible. So if it has peanut butter,
yeah, it's got peanut butter.
I would let it go. Nuts, I would let go if I can. And stay with if you want the grain, I would say it's easier than the fats. It's easier than the nuts, but like cleaner grains, right? Like the one.
Yeah.
John, I love the peanuts too. Don't worry, brother.
Peanut?
Yeah, I eat
When I get it into that third or fourth day eating, that's when the peanuts come back out.
Oh, peanuts, yeah. Peanuts are heavy, huh? I feel, yeah,
Can't get away from them. Not yet.
Is it a legume?
I like peanuts more than I really like cashews, but I stopped eating singular nuts. Like I'm just eating like a little bit of peanut butter and those bars. And I also eat fat-free refried beans, like organic refried beans. So I know it's really heavy, but I eat those with these teff tortillas. So I make like no fat tortillas.
What kind of?
And
Do you eat any fruit?
do I?
Fruit.
Yeah, man. Like I eat hybrid days. Like today I had a couple of really ripe bananas in the morning, and now I'm working on the grape juice. I'm starting late, but like on Saturdays when you guys are around, I do my pudding late, but I'm trying to do it earlier and earlier. Like I usually do it when I wake up before like 10 or 11 in the morning. So I've been doing good this week. I mean, like, I'm kind of hovering around level 4. But like I said, if you're eating hybrid, do you even consider the levels?
Sure, you can do that. It's a lifestyle, so you just, yeah, sure. What about
The
dry
levels
fast?
are the days you're on
Master
full
fast?
MFS, right? And then
It's
the
full
eating
master
days,
fast, but you
you
know,
could be on the hybrid days.
you can do that.
Okay, so yeah, so then I'm not even really on MFS. The way I see it is that I'm
Then
doing all fruit days and integrating 2 quarts of grape juice and the pudding with my fruit days. That's the way I'm looking at it. So it's a little bit inverted.
in the hybrid, you do fruits.
Just fruit.
You're not doing any just liquid days?
Yeah, I did a few. I've done a few in the last couple of weeks. I've done all MFS days, and then some days I kind of stagger it. Like some days I eat fruit in the morning, and then I'll start MFS in the afternoon, and then I'll finish the second quart the morning when I wake up the next morning. So I'll get 2 quarts down, and then I'll call that a cycle. I'll call that 36 hours fruit fast or whatever.
Yeah. What about dry fasting? You do a dry fast, right?
Yeah, but I cut back. Like today I did close to 16 hours dry, but I've been just doing dry in that range, like 12 to 16, almost every day. Definitely 12, but like I've done some longer ones. I think I did like 18 the other day. Start later or whatever, but you know, it's probably all it's all boring to you guys, but
No.
Every,
like I said, it's like I really find ways to trick myself. So I do the best I can to just like, you know, it's like when you have to yawn, you know, you look at a light or something. It's like that. Like I do little things to trick myself and to say, you know what, I'm just going another day. And I have this reason for doing it. I don't want to squander my life, you know. A friend of mine used the word squander once, and like it really had a deep effect on me. So I don't want to squander my life, you know.
yeah, no, we will do what we will do. That's the way we are. That's people. And, you know, when you're eating obstructive, you're going to be more addictive to the obstructive foods. It's just the way it is. You're going to be more thirsty. You're going to be more hungry. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's a cycle. And nothing's, you're not going to gain much value in health by doing that. This, from what I've seen, somebody's really obstructive, they're going to see some benefits for a while, and then things will plateau off because the obstructive are overtaking any of the fasting that's being taking place. So
yeah,
some people will get themselves in trouble because it's a big swing on the body from fasting to heavy foods. Only you can decide, John.
Yeah, I'm watching it very carefully. I'm listening and watching, and all I can tell you is that I'm very happy doing it. You know, I'm very happy doing the pudding, and I feel pretty damn good. And you know, I have a long way to go, but like I really enjoy it. I just enjoy it, and I'm getting to the point where I'm looking forward to it. So that's a good sign.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well, you talked about some health challenges you have and so on with your eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
That thing needs a lot of work.
I know, man. I have like pressing health issues, and like I have this hip issue too that, you know, the British guy who has a Muslim name, you know that guy? He was on about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Zahir.
Oh yeah, Zahir.
Zahir, yeah. Yeah, like I don't know, like actually, I'm sorry, I just spaced out. Like, why did I bring up Sahir? I totally spaced out.
Oh, he has a serious condition that's developed, right? That he went cuckoo after he did 108 days a few years ago. He just went on heavy eating.
Mm.
And he
Yeah.
got a huge hernia.
Oh, yeah, the hernia.
Oh, that's right. That's what I was gonna say. Like he says he has a hernia. I went and well, for what it's worth, a doctor of internal medicine told me I didn't have hernia because I did these leg exercises before her. And she's like, there's no way you can have hernia if you can do that. Like, cause I was pushing really, I was putting resistance on my right leg. And she was like, there's no way you have hernia. It's something else. It's something in your abdominal floor muscle group, but it's not a hernia. And I was like, well, that's good, but I've had it for like close to 8 years.
Wow.
So, and then of course, when I'm really on the program and I'm like during the dry fast, it almost went away, and then it comes back. But sometimes, like even before I started doing this protocol, it would just go away and then come back. So it's very elusive, but
You're not dealing with the root and seed causes. That's why it comes back.
yeah.
Deep.
So well, that's why I'm here, because I want you guys to admonish me.
We're here to help each other.
Guys, none of us are perfect. We know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's very interesting. Oh,
No, I love it. It's like I just know that this is something I'm going to keep developing. I just have, like, in my life, I have the discipline to move in that direction, and it took a while, like, but I don't know, like it's a little swing. There's some swing going on, but like I'm definitely kind of like polishing it a little bit.
yeah.
And I feel good. Like if I have a belly full of like vegan protein, I feel pretty damn good, all told. So, but I agree. Like,
So stimulants,
right? Huh?
stimulants make people feel good.
Yeah, I know. It's like I think when I really start feeling what you're talking about, like I'm not gonna ignore it. That's for sure. You know, like I said, I really want. I have a lot of goals. I have personal goals. I don't want to waste this opportunity and squander.
Yeah, true detoxification is always not a pleasant time.
Yeah.
That's, take your hit of protein, bang, it all goes away. Ah, okay. I was fasting too much.
I sort of resigned to it. Like if I don't feel bad, then I try to work in that window where I'm feeling well to outstanding. You know, I try to keep it in there.
Yeah.
But I know I trust my instincts, and I know, like, you know, I'm using Safeway brand organic grape juice. It's on sale for $4.99. Go to your store, your local Safeway, and buy some now. It's $5. $5 for 2 quarts.
It's pretty
Is
good.
that right?
No.
Good price.
$5. Oh, I wanted to ask you, Gino. This is like a little bit of bookkeeping, but I was going to send you guys a donation, and then I thought, well, I'll just get the protocol for some of my friends, because I already got the protocol for one of my friends. I just took his email and sent it to him. And so I know we don't have to talk about it now, but I was just thinking to donate something, and I figured I might as well just do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's not going to hurt you any, and then that way I can get something for my friends, you know.
Yeah,
That's
it's
smart.
awesome. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they will use it.
I have one friend who's Irish, and he's a lovely guy. He's smart, and he's well overweight. You know, he's probably 60 pounds overweight, and he's all interested in what I do. But then the next time I see him, you know, he's just like, he doesn't get it. And I sent him Professor Arrett, sent him a link, and he just doesn't get it. But like, the thing is, I thought I would just at least try to give him the protocol, see if I can get him to read it.
And maybe
Seed, that's all you can do.
Huh?
You plant the seed, that's all you can do.
yeah, you know,
Yeah, I was,
And not, don't be offended if they don't take it.
yeah.
no, but what happens is, like, if I'm encouraging somebody to look into it, then that also helps me get my determination
Sure it does.
more solid, you know.
That's how it works.
Yeah, you share the information, and then it keeps you closer to the source, you know.
You gotta give it away. Anyway, sobriety works.
Yeah, the environments are probably things that are having big influence in his life. That's what it usually is for people. And it's just too much everywhere you turn, right? The
Yeah,
environment, you know, about food. That's so, you know,
yeah, it's insane.
people working in restaurants trying to master fast, and some of them were okay, and some of them just couldn't do it. So, you know,
Yeah,
it depends many different things on the emotions.
yeah.
Food,
Well, I'm just, huh?
food is very interesting. How it just takes us in.
It's hellish. It's like,
Diction.
it's like, yeah, it's like, should I break my fast today, or should I keep fasting? You know, you just reach a crossroads. Like, I reach a crossroads every day, and I'm like, wait, should I walk over there, or should I walk over there? Like, if the store's over there, my favorite food's over there. Oh no, you know what? I'm just gonna go home and do another day of master fast, you know? And the older I get, the more I feel like, what the hell am I doing? Which way am I gonna walk? You know? Like, with all this extra time that I have now, it's like, because I had an easy job before, and now my job is ridiculously easy.
What do you do?
I work for University of California, Berkeley, and I work in geology on the field trip coordinator. So I work outdoors, and then I also have I'm called the safety liaison. So I have various duties that are about lab safety and building safety, and I do some other stuff too. They're trying to get me into accounting so that I can just like crunch some numbers, and like, they're trying to change my job so that it's sweet though. Like, I'm a vested employee. I'm past retirement age. I can retire whenever I want. It's not a lot, but it's more money than I've ever had. So like, I can just get out of there whenever I want. And I've been thinking about it, like, just blowing out of here. But then where do I go, you know? I want to go to I do want to go to Canada. I want to go to Vancouver.
I'll let you in right now.
I know, they won't let me in. I could sneak in.
So to visit or to move?
Can't
Yeah.
go to Mexico either.
I don't want to go to Mexico.
No, either, but they won't let you in there either. Amazing how they can. We won't go there, never mind.
No, you can fly to Mexico, but you can't cross the border. You can fly in, but like, it's like the whole protocol, and you can go to Ecuador. Ecuador is the only country in South America that's allowing Americans right now. It's a two-week quarantine. Ecuador. And like, I like the Amazon, so I might try to get down there eventually, but not anytime soon. I bought, I have two kinds of eye drops from the Amazon. I have one called Piri Piri, and that one's for like depression, strain, mental clarity. And then this is for my glaucoma. This is called Sananga, and it burns like the Dickens. So I got a new batch, and it's really strong. It burns like mad, but I use them together for my eyesight, and I love it. It's like it's
Do any eye
the Sananga.
exercises?
What?
You do any eye exercises?
Well, that's the thing. Like when I first heard about you guys, my buddy told me that people like literally work on improving their eyesight, and I don't, but I know like lion from yoga, where you look straight up and then you go ah. I don't want to subject you to that right now, but there's a lion's pose. You know that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's many eye exercises. Like I made a video, like you're just looking back and forth that way, angle, going that way,
Yeah.
that way, crossing your eyes up, crossing your eyes down, squeezing your eyes as hard as you can, and releasing.
Really?
Yeah, get into a routine of doing it at least once a day, twice a day,
Yeah.
morning, evening, to bring you're bringing energy flow into the area, right?
Yeah.
So you need.
Yeah.
Like anything else, and as soon as you get more energy flowing, you're gonna feel the effects of it. Sun gazing in the safe times of the day, right?
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
John, hot water when you're in the shower, back of the neck, stay under there for a couple of minutes.
I do that for sure.
That releases that muscle that goes back to the back of the eye, and it just softens it.
Yeah. See, I have like a yoga Tai Chi background. So like I do yoga exercises where I'm looking directly to the side on various spinal twists. So in a spinal twist, you turn the head all the way over, and then the last thing you do is like turn your eyes to the same direction to get the kundalini, the spiral.
Right.
So I do just instinctively, I do eye exercises like that. But I need to do lion more. Sometimes it almost feels like you're going to break something when you're doing lion, It's like something's going to snap.
Also, focusing on something close and then focusing on something far. So you get yourself in a routine. You do each one 9 times, and you'll see a benefit. Like for me, sometimes. If I eat a little bit heavier on my eyes, I can feel it. I'll do the exercise. I'll go outside, go do some sun gazing, and they clear up for me.
But sun gazing is backed up. It's not a good idea, right?
No, and but I've done the whole thing with sun gazing. I can look at the sun any time of the day.
Wow.
I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that, but
when you
I lost my. I've shared. I lost my nearsighted when I was doing the sun gazing. I was on the high fat diet. I don't blame it on the sun gazing.
Yeah, it's the same. If you think about your skin, the sun is good for you, but if you're all obstructed, it's not very good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like that's the thing. It's so profound to imagine. Like Steve did it. It's like to just like get your eyesight back in order. That's profound.
Well, many people threw away their glasses doing a long MFS.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So it depends.
I don't use it much anymore.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's just incredible how many things happen that you don't even think about. Problems that you may have had that go away. So
I got this blockage in my left ear coming back. Every time I go into a fast, it comes.
Yeah.
Something wants to get out there.
Yeah. Eventually it'll pop out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
have,
can hardly hear out of here, which is fine too.
Well, you guys sell those things, right? Those Ayurvedic things that you burn for the ear canal.
oh yeah.
They're like
Candles?
what?
Your candles?
Candles?
Yeah, candles.
I have some of them.
Do those things work? Because some people say they don't work.
Straight and negative. It creates a pressure.
The thing, what these are, the way they're working is they're working energetically. People are looking at the physicality of it,
Yeah.
but people have put them in, like burned them on their own, and they say, "Oh, look at all the stuff that's collected." It's not where you're doing it. You're doing it energetically. It's moving energy. And
What do you mean they burn them on their own?
well,
Just to experiment to see
if it collects anything inside, right? Because people have used them, and they cut them open at the end, a little piece, and it's full of wax, right? And they put it in a glass, and then you get the same thing. They're saying, "Look, it's the same." And believe you me, I've done them on many people, and the colors that come out, it's not the candle. It does work physically, but more so energetically, to move energy in the area. You're moving energy.
So when you said, sorry, I didn't follow that. When you said that they do them on their own, they actually, instead of having somebody else apply it, right?
Instead of burning it in the person's ear, you put it in a glass and burn it until it's that level.
without using it on someone.
Oh,
open. They say, "Look, it's the same thing."
Like a control, to see to compare.
oh, yeah. Oh, when the candle's on its own, I see.
Right, the candles.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
That's trippy. It's energetic.
energetic. It's energetic. So you're burning. I've had people that have problems with the ears and do a few candles and it clears up. So it's doing something.
Yeah.
Never mind what anybody else says. It's doing something. Is it going to solve all your problems? Absolutely not. It's just there to assist, especially in a dry fasting state. When you do ear candles, that's the best time to do it. That's the best. If you're going to do ear
I'll
candles,
try that.
do them on a dry.
I'm going to do the raw thing Monday on the dry. Stay in the dry for see what happens.
These are all tools. People use promote these things as the cure-all. You know what I mean? All the tools we use, we just use them to assist us in moving energy. That's it. The body's doing all the work through the soul. And when you're in a fasting state, and until we gain that understanding, we're going to keep searching for things that are going to fix us. So it's always the body's working, through the chief conductor, the soul. Simple. And everything that we use, especially in today's very obstructive humans, really helps us. We've guided some people going through some really serious healing reactions. Not fun. So you don't have any tools when you're going through that, it won't be fun. And some people, they may, as we term, is drown in their own filth and not make it, because the body is so obstructive. So the tools is just prudence. Simple. Why not use them? Why do we have to go through risking going through the hard way when we don't have to?
Human nature.
Yeah, exactly. Human nature. I went through it. It wasn't fun. Now that I'm using the tools compared to the old days, there's no comparison. No comparison, man. When you got tools, it makes it much, much easier. So that's why we use them.
Like fine tuning.
Yeah. And we keep learning. We keep learning from you know, everybody's experience. Somebody does something that, you know, with this and that when they're doing, and we learn something new. So, you know, it's awesome. We got a lot of tools, a lot of tools.
You know, it's funny. It's like I did a Tai Chi set for like 15 years, a whole yoga Tai Chi, Bagua, Qigong, the whole bit. And like, I definitely got good at it and learned about, you know, the foundation exercises and all that. But the thing is, it's like, if you're not eating super light, like that stuff can be dangerous, you know, because like you can move the energy around, but then, you know, in what environment are you moving it around? And like some of those guys who get really good, they kind of go nuts.
Really?
Well, yeah, they get mean, or they, you know, like I saw a master. This guy was absolute master, badass Tai Chi guy. I saw him have a conniption fit where like his lips started to quiver, just because like some young girl like made a mistake in the scheduling and like the classroom wasn't available, and like he freaked out. And I'm like, Master Wong, take it easy, man. It's okay. It's just some young woman who like made a mistake in the scheduling. It's not a big deal. And he was like quavering, like this, you know.
Yeah.
So like I've seen some weird stuff in the Qigong world where and like I never really got too far with it, because probably part of the reason is just because, you know, like eating disorders, like I didn't regulate my body well enough to really get it, you know.
Well, you said 15 years you've been doing this stuff?
Well, I was, yeah, like I did it like serious. Well, I was also doing kickboxing, but I did it seriously for pretty close to 15 years.
You're not
And
doing
then
it anymore?
I do like kind of a maintenance workout, and you know, I mean, it depends on what you mean. Like I do some of the basic stuff, and I do a yoga routine, and I do like, I'm a biker now, like just out of necessity. I'm like pretty much on my bike all the time in the hills. So like I'm pretty athletic, but I don't do the real subtle stuff anymore, except for a few of the most primary like foundation exercises I do. So I'm gonna try to start that up again, you know.
No, that's interesting. You've been doing that long. So,
Yeah.
you know, when you use this tool, like, you know, qigong and all this stuff, and you're in fasting state, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, man. I think, yeah, like the guy I studied under, the guy I was telling you about, who he kind of had a temper. He was pretty famous. They made a movie about him, but he only ate, like he ate really small meals. Like we'd go out to dinner with him, and like he would have like one little, like he was a small eater, and I think he was a very regular small eater. And you know, he was very strong, but he would eat, like he wouldn't even think about it. He would eat like a McDonald's filet of fish sandwich, but that was it. That would be like it. Or he would have like a tiny little like side dish at the restaurant or something like that. But yeah, I'm interested in doing that, like getting my qigong going again. Like there are various standing meditations, and then there are foundational exercises that are related to Tai Chi. And I know a whole bunch of it. There's like, it's called muscle sinew changing classic. It's like a type of yoga, actually. Some of my friends still do it, and they're like world-class kickboxers now, but they're younger than I am. But I got kind of tired of it. I don't know. I just felt like I was spinning my wheels, so it could have been dietary.
Didn't help your eye thing by practicing?
Qigong. I can't really say that it did. My grandmother had glaucoma, and my mother was diagnosed. My mother's in her 80s, and she was diagnosed about, I think, like 3 years ago. When she hit 80, she was diagnosed with glaucoma. So I knew about mine when I was like 30, essentially.
Hmm.
And you know, it's not horrible, but I have to watch it.
Get rid of the grains.
The grains.
And the fat and the protein.
The fat.
Oh man.
Cut my pressures in half in 6 months, John.
Yeah. Well, you're a warrior. It's like, I mean, from your background, like, and what you went through, like, you really something. You got possessed. You were possessed to be a master faster. That's really impressive, man. That you were able to do that.
Follow the protocol.
It's
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm doing the protocol a lot. I'm doing it more and more.
we got to ask ourselves, you know, what do we truly want, you know?
That's it.
You know,
Yeah.
also let go of the alcohol before, right?
That's a big
Of
one.
what, how many years? 30 years?
Hardcore alcoholic.
I know, it's awesome.
Gave it all up.
24 years now.
24 years. 30 years ago, right?
Like you don't see too many at the state he was in an alcoholic that make it.
I didn't have much time left, put it that way.
Yeah, that's very, very awesome.
I never thought I would have hit 40. If I kept going, I never would have hit 38.
It's incredible, you know. We can do anything. We can change anything. It's just make that decision. Truly make the decision, and just put it in motion. And it happens. It's gonna happen as long as we make that commitment and work it. It's gonna happen. It's there's no two ways about it. So, you know, if you start seeing more deterioration, John, would that be motivation? Some people it is, and some people it isn't.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because like when I started coming to the Zoom, it slowly dawned on me that your eating days are way, way, way lighter than what I imagined. So like you're talking about a level of the lifestyle where that's like so profound, but you know, it's not just that you're doing the master fast days, it's what you're not doing on your eating days. That's so profound, you know? So like I'm still kind of digesting that, so to speak.
But, I'm sure everybody here will agree that we have had our challenges with eating.
Yeah,
you know,
but
so.
the
But-
thing
but,
is, it's a work in progress that we develop our you know, just like becoming an athlete, right? You got to work at it little by little by little. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to work at it, and you get better and better at it.
And the more you fast, like the more fasting days in your lifestyle, the more you will feel the food. So you will, you don't need to read about it anymore. You get it, you know? You read about it, okay, you have the idea, you have the concept. But when you do it and experience it for yourself over and over and over and over and over and over again, then your belief system starts changing about the food.
Yeah.
You know? And that takes time and practice.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, I can't, it's like, I was trying to explain it to my friend, like, it's like a woman telling you what it's like to carry a baby. You can't experience it. So you might as well not try to explain it. And like, it's like that. It's like I have to experience what you guys have gone through. But on the other hand, like, the good news is that I just believe it. Like, I already believed it. Like,
And you have
when I
Yeah, you've got the Arnold Air background, right? And you've been,
yeah, like, as soon as I read that, that was just like, that's all I talked about for like a couple of years, you know. Like,
that book's what changed me. I knew I was a faster after that.
yeah, you can't deny it. You can't deny that if you can't see the truth in that book and in The Great Cure, you know, you just can't deny it. It's like, it's a matter of intelligence. Like, some people will read that and just instantly not believe it, you know. And it's not even that they don't want to believe it. They just really, truly don't believe it.
It's easier to go get a vaccine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you're right.
No
Some
work
people-
involved. Go walk to your doctor and bang, it's all done.
Yeah.
Cognitive dissonance.
It's
Yeah, it's gonna be dark for a while.
Yeah, it is.
It's just dark.
they're gonna pay the prices.
Yes, they will. I
Every,
just want it to be in our lifetime, that's all.
yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
They're gonna pay the price, but like, it's like we're gonna get dragged down with them, though.
If it's supposed
So
to
be it.
Mm.
Anyway, life is good, right?
Which is good.
life is awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's so much to do anyways.
Gets even better when you get deeper into the fast. The days.
Mm.
Yeah, especially when you start getting those days of downloads, man. It's just like, holy jeez. It's just like, you know, you're just flying.
Yep.
And it's you're
Approaching that now.
in that ecstasy state.
Couple weeks.
Why the frick do I eat?
I say that as I start eating. What am I doing this for?
Both times, yeah. Especially after you break a fast. Why the frick do I eat?
Like, it's like when I make a determination, as soon as I decide, like, to make a determination in the direction of master fast and cleansing and food diet, as soon as I make the decision, I start feeling better.
Oh yeah.
It changes my mood. I'm like, cool, I did it. I made the decision.
Yeah, for sure. Before you start the fast, before you start the lifestyle, when you have it in your head, you already start feeling better. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, all this,
Which
go ahead.
says a lot, you know.
Mm.
You know, all this physical stuff. This physical stuff is really the simple stuff. It's just do your routine things and it's done. It's all the emotional stuff, you know, working on the spirit. That's where
Facing the mirror.
everybody has the biggest challenges. And, you know, I found the best way for people to cope with that is what we're doing right now, is talking about it, being in groups, supporting each other. Because when you're on your own, man, especially some new people who they don't really truly have an understanding of what a fasting lifestyle is all about. Actually, that's most people. So when these things start coming to the surface, they blame everything in their mother, you know, except, you know, looking in the mirror, why they're going through these situations. And yeah, a lot of it is ancestral, but you know, we can change it. We can change it, and it's just a matter of making that decision and continuously work on it, allowing that soul, like I'd love to say, work, putting it in autopilot and watching the magic unfold. It's just when you're in that space of in that place.
Just got to stay out of the way of it. That's all.
Yeah, but get cravings, go eat in the other realms. You can do it. You can do it. Whether you believe it or not, you can do it. Everything is energy. We go back to the atom. Everything is energy. We're made up of atoms, and so is everything else. What keeps an atom is within itself. What keeps the orbit going on and on and on, for perpetuity. There's energies all around, and we just have to tap into these energies, and voila, we get rid of our cravings. Sometimes we're gonna want to deal with the physicality and eat. That's okay, but if we don't have any fasting days, we're not going to see much changes. We see the big changes when we fast. So is fasting the thing for everything? No, it's not the answer for everything. But man, oh man, there's
Mostly.
Right? What did you say?
it's pretty close.
Pretty close.
Like,
Yeah,
this-
but there's still imbalance within the fasting.
Of course.
There has to be.
Even some of the most, like some people who are like have been like deeply fasting, there's, you hear this and you hear that. I mean, I don't know how much of things are true, but it sounds like it's not less imbalanced than the average person, there's a lot to things, I guess, and looking at the mirror of truth and improving ourselves regardless of our diet or even fasting lifestyle is important as well. There are amazing people who are not fasting and not eating necessarily super clean. There are amazing people. I've met nice people. They're very peaceful and very, not everybody, maybe the majority of, I don't know. It's really interesting. Maybe a bigger percentage of people who are imbalanced are coming to this path, and so there's much more work for us to do compared to the average person who doesn't care to change. I don't know. It's really interesting, but at the end of the day, I think it's important for us to respect everybody's path, and journey, regardless what they eat. And
Well, a big percentage of people that come into a detoxification lifestyle, fasting, changing their diet, cleaner, they've had some health issues, serious health issues.
and depression,
That's the
emotional.
big percentages, yeah, emotional, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
They all go hand in hand. So they're looking to make some changes, and a lot of people, have gone down many different paths and many different diets and cannot find any resolution. Then they come to the realm of MFS and everything starts changing. Why? because there's many things that happen when you are making the lifestyle choice to work on dealing with all these obstructions and move them out. And it's all energetics. Yeah, there's the physical stuff, but the emotion is way more powerful than anything physical. And once we can start accessing that stuff and bringing it to the surface, we're going to start seeing changes. It's just the way it is here. Emotion, intent and emotion is creation. We mentioned that over and over because that's the way I see it. Intent and emotion is creation. That's how everything's created.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I believe it's a spiritual journey. for everyone, of course,
Excuse me one sec.
and everybody, you know, goes through a different path, I guess. But we all go through a spiritual journey, regardless of diet or fasting. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like you look at a musician, you know. Some people are just they're just dialed in. They're born to do great things and like make music. It just comes out of them. It's like it's in their DNA. It's, you know, you think of the greatest musicians, and they're not thinking about their diet, you know. They just eat when they can, and then they go back to work. You know, it's like, so I always think about those sorts of people. I don't have that. I'm just not designed that way. Like I'm more of like somebody who's like pondering all the time. So
I'm sure, you know, I feel also that we all have the capacity to become almost anything we want to be.
Yep.
Which is beautiful. I believe we have the power, but it's very interesting because today I was thinking when I was praying, you know, like, yes, we have a lot of power within us to choose our, you know, the will. So we have the will to choose our paths, but at the same time, the most power I feel is when we are least powerful, you know. So it's very, yeah, it's like a fine line. Like we have to be humble enough to maybe like I also read somewhere that I think with the gentlest touches are like the most powerful or something like that, right? Like it's the more gentle, the more powerful. Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know, but it seems like the more the less power, the more true power we have. You know, the less ego, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
well, it's like the feminine, like it's like, you know, you think of feminine energy and like it took me a long time to like start really looking more closely at the feminine side of things and like myself and like my attitudes, you know. I've always loved women, but like it's like I never really understood. And then I met this feminist woman who like she was cool. I thought we were attracted to each other for a half a second. I met her on the street and I started chatting with her. This was a long time ago. This was 5 years ago, I guess. And then she, I just started talking, and then she just said, well, a lot of women are just sitting around waiting for men to shut up. You know, and like it, like something clicked, and then she gave me some books to read, some feminist theory. So I kind of like had a doorway into that, you know, and I was like, wow, because it really applies to men, you know, it applies.
Feminist?
Not feminism in like, I just mean like the divine feminine, or like really trying to understand it. And then so when I was doing, I started doing ayahuasca like 12 years ago, and that's a feminine entity. So ayahuasca like is always like smacking me and like whipping, like she hits me and she's like, stop it.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it was kind of cool, you know.
Yeah. I love that. I believe it is, yeah, in today's world, it would be nice to have this kind of understanding, especially from, men blame women for like for unhappiness, and women blame men.
Good luck figuring out women.
But it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
No win situation.
And then I was learning a little bit not too long ago. From what I understand is this. I was watching a video by Teal Swan about what men need to know about women, and I was like, when I listened to it, I was like, wow, it's so nice to see somebody put it out there.
I'm gonna make one. What women need to know about men.
Yeah, no, she made that one. She did that. Yeah.
How's she gonna make it?
Well, she's experienced, I guess, with many people, helping people. So yeah, and it's basically women are basically insecure. Okay, not a bad word. Okay, but I guess because of throughout history and biologically as well, so we want to be
Emotions.
comforted, by a man. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, I learned this, in the Middle East, with the Islamic religion, for example, that the father is responsible for the kids, the daughter, until she gets married, and the husband was responsible for her. And I love that. It may make women feel weak, maybe here in the West, but it is the truth, though. I feel, for me at least, that I do like to be comforted by a man. I do like to be to feel secure enough by a man. I do like to feel that my man is trustworthy. He's worth my trust for him, and that I am loved. And then, so when a woman feels like this, happy and content this way, and so what Teal is saying is that women are like that. All women, regardless where you come from. It's just your biology, and also throughout history. So most women are insecure, not weak, but there is this factor where they want to be comforted by the man. Okay, and so when a man provides this for a woman, she would feel like she's the happiest, alive, and she would provide everything. She can open up to the man, and they can have the best love life and everything. But I would say that's like as happy as you can be, really, and the man is comforted by physical touch. But it's first, the man has to do the work. The man has to first make the woman comfortable enough to open up to him, and then he feels emotionally connected. So that's the video actually that I watched about what women need to know about a man. They want to be physically touched. That's how they emotionally connect. Women emotionally connect through the security and feeling loved and feeling they can trust the man. But it has to start with the man. So I'm sorry, it starts with the man. They have to make the woman comfortable enough to open up, and then basically, once they are united, I think it's mutual. That's how it makes so much sense to me. I don't know what you guys think, but it makes so much sense to me. What do you guys think?
I agree. I agree, and I saw that video. It was excellent. I watched it with my brother, and he said, I've learned more about women in that video in the 3 minutes than I have my entire life.
Amazing.
What's the video?
Teal Swan.
What's it called?
Teal Swan, what men know about women. Yeah.
And there's
What? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, Teal Swan, what men need to know about women. There's goes the other way as well.
Well, Warren Beatty, the actor, was going out with Madonna back in like the 90s, like the 80s or 90s. And they asked Warren Beatty what was the most important thing to know about women. And he said that they're not that much different from men. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, what do he feels about that?
Same
Yeah.
creator.
We're all one of them.
We think different. The species, the genders think differently. Their brains are wired differently.
Hormones.
There's a huge
Another
difference.
paradox. I lived in Japan, and like I learned plenty from a few Japanese women. I'd have to say it was wonderful. Like they're so intelligent. I mean, all women are intelligent, but like I learned a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah, there's something about the Japanese culture.
It's wonderful.
Very interesting.
They have a reverence for life.
Be very in touch with feminine, with the feminine.
Yeah, they
Minimal.
are.
They live minimalist.
And they're very thankful, both the man and the woman, very polite and very, like, I just love it.
Reverence. There's
I
a
love
reverence about it. There really is.
Yeah, they really, the whole samurai culture, they just really seize it and understand like the urgency of life. And I mean, at least in their traditional culture,
Yeah, tradition.
it's
Yeah, that's what
it's a well-preserved traditional culture, even though like it's rapidly changing. There's still like a core culture there that is just phenomenal. It's like,
Yeah, they were in the samurai days with the sword, man. They were brutal.
so much.
yeah,
I think it's just so much focus. They're really good at what they do. There's attention to the details, and I love that.
yeah. It's like even cities are considered feminine and masculine, like in Kyushu in the south. There are a couple of cities, Kagoshima is masculine, and then a city called Miyazaki is like the feminine counterpart of the masculine city. And like that's, to use the word again, that's like a shamanic thing, like where places had, they had spirits of, that's kind of like a leftover of a shamanic type of thinking, But yeah, if you can ever get a chance to go to Japan, if you haven't been there yet, it's fascinating.
Just don't go to Fukushima. Avoid Fukushima.
Fukushima, yeah. Yeah, I actually, after Fukushima happened, I had a friend in my Buddhist group invited me to go to his sister's house to work on a farm that was very close to Fukushima. And it's like, wait, I'm gonna go work on a farm? Because I was looking for a way to get out of here. I had like an incident in my life and I wanted to, when was that? When was Fukushima?
7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah, I had a bad breakup and I was just gonna escape. I was in like the escape mode. And I was going to be like, yeah, I'll go live for free in Japan and work on a little farm. But I think they couldn't find anybody to run the farm. It was like, 100 miles from Fukushima or something like that, 100 kilometers. If you like hot tubs, if you like the whole hot tub culture and the hot spring culture, it's heaven.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There's a question in the chat for you, John.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, Barbara. Yeah, that's a Nichiren Gohon zone. Does she want me to answer in chat?
Well, I don't know. Just what is that?
It's a kind of shrine. It's a shrine.
Oh, shrine.
It's a Buddhist shrine, but I'm like a non-sectarian Nichiren Buddhist, I'm called. But there are a lot of sects, there's a lot of like cultish stuff going on, but I'm like non-sectarian. Oh, it's to everyone? Okay. Sorry about that.
Don, you have grapefruit over in California, right?
Grapefruit?
No, grapefruit.
Great.
Beautiful fruit over there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right now, like when COVID first started, it was still very good, but there was a dearth in certain kinds of fruit. And, whole shelves would be empty and be like, oh man, what's going on? But then like about a month or two ago, like 6 weeks ago, the fruit right now is off the hook. Like you can't even believe it. It's like, I go to one store. So I know Steve was lamenting about how fruit doesn't taste good, but like, Steve, you need to come out here, man.
Oh, I got some.
I wouldn't eat anything else.
Unbelievable.
I bought some layers. My farmer friend gets it. So I got some of those black plums with the red inside. Oh, those things are so freaking good.
Yeah, the plums now and the white apricots. And like we get a lot of mangoes too from Mexico and like a lot of tropical fruit. It's just off the hook.
I love the stone fruit. I love the stone fruit, the peaches and the nectarine.
Is there any?
Yeah, I know you broke your tooth on one,
That's all right.
on a plum, right?
That was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call them stone fruit.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah, that was one of those plums too. Yeah.
I broke a tooth. I was in Malaysia, and I bought a bag of prunes, like so-called pitted prunes, and I broke a tooth on a prune fragment when I was younger.
Yeah, you got to be careful with prunes.
And I was flying to India, so I got to India, and the whole time I was in India, my tooth was like broken in half.
Anything that's seeded, there's always a chance for something to be in there.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. Is there any tropical fruits in California area?
Tropical fruits that grow here?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, like, well, a lot of stuff comes from Mexico, but when you get to well, first of all, like an avocado is essentially tropical, isn't it? We have a lot of avocados. And the other one is cherimoya. That grows in California, and that's amazing. That's like, $8 a pound.
Oof.
Cherimoya is one. Have you ever had a cherimoya?
Yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Tropical fruit. Yeah, cherimoya is it's hard to explain. Has big pits in it, big black seeds that are pretty easy to handle, but there's a lot of them in there. So it takes a while to eat one.
Could also be called a sugar apple, or that might be like a different variety. Sugar apple, maybe some people know that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple of fruits. Huh?
It's a big family of fruit. Like there's similar cherimoya. There's different, many different kinds, like with every fruit.
Yeah, and then the jackfruit we get comes from Mexico primarily, and like maybe Colombia and places like that. But just the temperate fruit from Northern California, unbelievable. The figs. Yeah. And then in Southern California we have dates. In the north we have figs.
Any noni?
Noni? I've seen those. That's tropical, right?
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I used to love them. My uncle had a tree in his in Venezuela, in Margarita Island. I was picking out on them.
Really?
Very sour, right?
Yeah, strong flavor.
Hmm.
You were in Venezuela?
Yeah, my uncle used to live there for almost 30 years
Uh-huh.
until it went to hell.
Yeah.
Talk about destroying a culture. Huh?
It was beautiful. Margarita Island was a paradise.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to northeastern Colombia, but I haven't been to Venezuela. Venezuela actually has a pretty good swath of Amazon jungle. Most people don't realize.
On the mainland.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sketchy out there now.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like the FARC and all those factional groups, they move back and forth across the border from Colombia to Venezuela. They just like disappear. It's pretty sketchy, but I was like, I don't know, like at least 70 or 80 miles away from there when I went up there. But they have grapefruit in Colombia too. The irony about South America is that they have the Amazon and they have these gorgeous fruit, but most of it gets exported. So when you're down there and you're trying to find it, it's like, wait, where are the good mangoes? And it's like you're left with like the absolute dregs of the the industry. Not always though, but I mean they're good papayas always, but
Sapote? You guys have sapote there? Chocolate?
Sapote. Real chocolate?
It's like chocolate to
I
me.
mean, like
A caramel to me.
Sapote. I don't know if I've tried that. I don't know exactly what that is.
It's like a pudding.
In Brazil, they really. Yeah, because churromoya is kind of like pudding like. What?
That it's like it's black inside. That's the one you're talking about, Gina.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I never had that one. That chocolate pudding one, no.
Dark,
Really like chocolate?
for me, yeah, it's like a dark brown inside. They grow long, like a football kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. In Brazil, man, if you're a fruit lover, you have to take a trip to Brazil. There's fruit down there that like I can't even keep track of how many kinds of fruits I had, but I didn't even know what the names of them were. I was just eating them.
Jamaica's really good for fruit.
Wow.
Out of all
Yes, yes, it
I'm
is.
a master class. I don't want any fruit.
See
What?
What was that, Sarah?
Oh, I just said I've been to Jamaica, so I've eaten the stuff there.
Yeah. They got wonderful fruit.
I would say that as like all of nature, like fruit is one of the strongest indications of God for me. Like the taste of fruit, because all the beauty in nature, it's like that's probably like the strongest indication for me.
Not like cracking a watermelon open.
Yeah, we have tons of melons now. We have all kinds. There's one called Sugar Kiss.
Yep.
And then there's one called Honey Kiss. So good.
Why you need those the chocolate bars or whatever?
Those? You have to talk to my what's the word? Consort. my other side. I don't know.
Exactly.
Are you still on a long fast, Tatiana?
Yeah, I'm still going. I had some tomato juice.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
So what
Did
where
you
are
make
you
it
now?
yourself?
Yeah, growing tomatoes.
Yeah, good. It's good, isn't it?
But I didn't cook it.
Oh, I cooked it. Gotta cook it.
It's not ideal, but loved it. They just smell. My sense of smell is just so heightened. They smell divine. They just even like I feed off the smell.
Mhm.
How is your healing?
It's going. Mucus is coming out little by little. I think it's like calmed down a little bit on the tongue, but still inflamed in the back. Gross looking, but you know, I'm happy. Like I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating, and I just love it. I'm loving it times a million, billion.
Yeah.
What day? I mean, like what day are you?
I think I'm around
Like,
50.
you're on,
I'm gonna come back by 50ish. Yeah.
50.
and that's like strict fruit and master fast.
No, just master fast and full master fast, and I just recently a little tomato juice, like very little.
Wow.
Feels amazing. Feels amazing. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to go this long. I told you guys, but I feel like I should let it heal. What's going on in there? So and then yeah, I would like not trying to do marathon, but it feels so good.
Good.
I know a lot of people have been here and then have felt bad after, but like I mean, if once they have food,
Yeah.
right?
Depends what you eat.
Yeah, depends what you. But right now I feel amazing, and it's very interesting. Yeah, I mean the belief system like crumbling down is something, you know.
Art attraction is where it's at. There's nothing missing.
I mean everything's better. Everything's better. My skin's like hasn't looked I don't know better since I was like a child. And growing up, like as a teenager, I always had problems with it. I did like every cream. I did like the proactive stuff, and I mean it wasn't really bad, but it was like always something was coming up. I think that's why I was always researching, like what's actually going on. Like my skin was an indicator to me, like to always keep researching.
Oh yeah, and all that stuff's
Yeah.
got to come out.
The signs, right? And I appreciate that. I appreciate, everyone has problems on the skin. That's like your skin giving you a sign, telling you to look. Yeah. And dermatologists, I realized nothing you're gonna put on there is going to fix anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really unbelievable. I just feel so good on no food, and everything's getting better.
Crazy, isn't it?
How do you?
No one out there will believe me. It's a silent appreciation, and just feeling that is just really special.
How can
I'm so glad I can connect all about it.
How can we explain it to somebody who has not experienced it?
You can't.
No.
You really can't.
No.
Just feels so good. Right now I yeah, I even I like the dry fasting a lot more. Even the juice, I don't want it, but I know it's necessary, and I almost I mean I hit a little bit under 2. A bit under 2. But I also feel like my body can like take less now.
Yeah.
I don't think you can take
Lots of people went through that.
the juice. Yeah. I know. I'm trying not to dry myself out. Yeah. I'm excited for this for the full moon coming. So excited. Have you guys started yours yet? When do you start?
Tonight? Last night?
Oh, right. Steve, you said you started. Yes.
Good night.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Monday, Tuesday. It's on Monday, right?
Yeah, I think I said Monday.
Yeah.
Hello.
Make some notes. Be very focused.
When you break.
And don't disappear when you start eating.
Yeah, stay connected.
Like, why would I ever want to eat again?
You'll see.
I know a lot of people have been there and said that.
What people do, they start eating, they disappear.
When you start doing,
That voice starts talking. That voice that we all have.
Very convincing, the voice.
just find your balance between fasting and eating. And if you really love the fasting, then choose more fasting days and build a structure for the lifestyle and keep going. I mean, that's really the biggest challenge. But the transformations are so beautiful when you're doing it for a long time. Yeah, there are a couple of people who are doing the lifestyle for a long time like this, a few days a week, and they are feeling absolutely amazing. They really have transformed in so many ways that you can't almost you can't compare, like long fast versus the structured lifestyle. It's almost the same because most of their days are fasting anyways. And when they eat, they choose cleaner and cleaner because your body will react when you don't, So, yeah, it takes time to learn. It's gonna take time for everyone to learn, with doing small little mistakes here and there and adjusting and choosing the right path for you. And maybe one day you'll stop eating if you want. If you really want it, you will.
Yeah.
If you love eating fruits from your garden, maybe that will be your food,
Yeah. Even I think it also feels very natural to me because before this I wasn't eating a lot. I was eating mostly fruit and minimal. And I did juice fasting, so it feels very natural. And MFS just makes you feel so well supported. It's really like a big hug.
It really is, because of the protocol is very structured, and if you feel this way, what to do, and
All in the fields.
so it really helps. And everything is designed to help you release. And when you follow, you feel better, right? When you follow the protocol.
You start to understand about the fields when you do the long ones more and more, and you commit to it. You realize, everything we've been taught about nutrition, everything is a bunch of crap. It just doesn't make any more sense. How the body restores itself with nothing.
Yeah.
So many other beliefs stand on that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. People are, like we say, people are not looking for proof. People are looking for excuses. That's all they're looking for. Instead of looking for reasons to do it. This is all of us, so.
All of us,
We know what it does. We don't need any more proof. We don't.
Yeah, when you do it, but first you have to do it to understand.
Yeah. Each person has to go
change your
through
belief.
it to understand it. But we don't need any more proof.
Yeah, like people like us, we don't need any more proof. We already know it. You just have to do it.
Tied to these fiction names that the medical mafia, pharma cartels create. We got to let go of that stuff. If you get tied to that stuff, you're doomed. You're doomed. So many people are doomed in that world. For years, they're on end going from one doctor to another doctor to a specialist and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And drugs and this and that. Scary place to be.
Yeah, like if you're diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, for example, you know, and like someone I know close got diagnosed. And I remember 8 years ago, maybe when I started raw food, I did mention that, you know, watch this YouTube video. It's a person who improved, who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and improved with raw food. And, you know, there is no interest. Most people have no interest. Even you show them there's another way.
Change your diet? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
But it's okay, you know. It's not a path for everyone.
It's okay. It's just,
Spiritual, like evolution. It's not.
Everybody has their own journeys.
Yeah.
So all we can do is plant the seeds.
yeah. But there is a way. There is
Water.
a way. I mean, there's no question about it. And it's unfortunately, you know, it's almost like slavery to be labeled with a disease. And I don't know. It's not really slavery because you have other options that you're not really exploring. So it's not really slavery. You know?
We're so I mean, indoctrinated.
Yeah.
It was really like a step, you know, when you don't like 100% believe everything like that someone in a white coat says, like that could be false. That's a big step. And like everything in our culture, you know, makes you believe that that is the way. Someone else has the answer for you.
Absolutely.
And that's the most disempowering thing.
All
And
right.
that's what they're trying to do right now, like to everyone.
Yeah, big time. Are you keeping any notes, Tatiana, of all the challenges you've had and so on and so forth, and what's going on? And like a kind of a diary kind of thing
I guess in my post,
The post.
when you post?
Hmm.
Is that okay?
but yeah, I guess I should write more.
No, that's
The
awesome.
post is great. Yeah.
Make sure you keep a copy for yourself.
Yeah.
Never know what happens to Facebook.
Okay.
You know, we had,
Yeah.
Kendra's had so amazing, all kinds of posts, all disappeared.
She didn't delete them.
Who knows what happened? It's gone.
I mean, I wrote down like intentions. I definitely, as I'm cleaning myself, I'm like, I want to do the same with like what my surroundings, my life. You know, you don't like something, change it. We're like always in flow. Move things around. Yeah, lots of things I want to do. Take some time off and vacation around here. Should be a vacation. You know, like where you are, all the time. Should be like work and hate your life and then vacation.
100%.
Enjoy your life.
But I haven't traveled anywhere for 5 years.
We were just traveling within.
I really haven't traveled anywhere for 5 years since I started the massive fast. I think that's the last time I traveled. I went to Saudi. Renew my residency there, but that was the last time, and now I lost the residency. But yeah, it was. That's it. That's it. That's the last time I traveled, and my passport is even expired, and I can't renew it now. I can't renew it because they closed.
Oh.
Wait for them to open. I'm stuck.
They won't let you leave anyway. Don't worry about it.
But you know, I remember many people would ask me, especially my clients, you know, when Christmas comes and in the summer, they ask me, are you going to travel? Are you going to go anywhere? I'm like, no, but I don't feel like it. For me, my travel would be too fast. I always mentioned that. I always said, for me, my travel would be too fast and just catch up on things that I want to do. Because what is a vacation going to do for me? I'm going to relax and then come back to my stresses, you know? You know? So just be, like you said, make your holiday right here, make your comfort right here at home, you know, where your every day you're spending. Yeah. How are you doing, Tommy? Hi. Anything you
Doing
like?
good. Learning to balance fasting and food, going I think 3 days a week full master fast. Thankfully, allowing the body to become a lot more sensitive in its responses to what I put in my system is a very awakening experience. Because after I did 25 days full master fast, all the old emotions came flooding back, and I put some things in my system that I shouldn't have, and I learned that lesson very quickly. But thankfully, I think when I first started, I was overambitious, as a lot of people can be when they start master fast. And so one of the things that I did was I bought a bunch of dark or black cherry juice,
Oh yeah.
and thankfully, the power of the black cherry juice, I truly believe that it saved my life when I when I broke my fast the first time, because all the things that I shouldn't have put in my body came out literally like gravel. And if it wasn't for the black cherry juice, I think it really would have messed me up. But
Good stuff, that cherry.
It's very powerful.
oh, it's incredible.
I can't touch it. I touched it a couple of times, and my goodness, I couldn't stay away from the bathroom.
Well, when I was recovering from, from all of the bad choices after I broke my fast, I was drinking maybe about a liter of cherry juice a week, and I would mix it with the grape. But it was very, very instrumental in recovering from some bad choices. And, but that entire experience just showed me how deeply entrenched those, associations between the food and emotion truly is. And so now doing full master fast 3 days a week, a lot of that awareness is very, very apparent. And the self-awareness regarding emotional responses towards foods and cravings. And I started noticing, because I have a job that's it has some stress associated with it, and I started noticing recurring types of stress, and there would be certain emotions associated with that stress, and with those emotions came certain food cravings. So it's like if I got annoyed, a certain food would pop into my head. If I got angry, a certain food would pop into my head because of the association between the emotions and the food. And so it's like, if that's all it is, if that's what a real craving is, it's just, just this emotion. And if all my, bad food choices is just a response to the emotions, then the self-awareness regarding the emotions is the best way to process, is the best, is a really great part of the healing process. I mean, first you must become aware of the emotion before you can choose a different response. Because getting carried away in those emotions was my life. It's just going from, one emotional state to another, as opposed to, the healing. And I I don't have I want to, because the meditation also is another tool that I've been using. Um, um, and I started noticing that I think I might be having a healing reaction. Um, I'm experiencing some swelling in the ankles of both legs, maybe a little bit of edema as well. I'm not sure, but
That's the good news.
You're backed up.
yeah, I'm backed up. So maybe I'll do a little bit more frequent rinsing as well. Mainly just I need to get a larger bucket because I think I've only been doing about 4.5 gallons of during my Colima sessions, which are phenomenal.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so just living it and loving it.
That's great. Yeah, yeah, you're doing great. That's how we learn. That's the only way. I don't know any other way. You're doing great.
Gina, what else would you recommend to try with the ozone generator? I read your use like with the mattress.
Yeah, there's many uses with ozone. You can disinfect your mattress, clean it up, freshen it up. The smell will stay there for a while. It's of course washing your fruits and veggies.
Purifying the air.
Yeah, purifying the air.
Really, like
You can
sanitize anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you breathe it for a little bit? I know you like have it running or whenever.
yeah, when you're breathing it in, right? Just be careful. Now that you're on a fasting state, I'm sure you'll be able to handle much more than any average person.
Oh, good. I love it. But I know I shouldn't overdo it or anything.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I mean, he means like to bring it very close to your nose, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're in the room, no problem. You can use it to purify.
Well, some people, they walk in a room, they can't handle it all.
Mm.
Even a small amount of ozone they can't handle. They're so obstructed.
I run it for an hour every day in the bedroom, every night.
You run it for an hour in the bedroom?
It's I love it.
Breathe that thing right in. I can put it right on. I can breathe it right. No problem.
When you're going to sleep?
Yep. Every night.
I love the smell.
Oh yeah.
There's, you can.
Oh.
There's many things you can do if you feed oxygen into it. You can do body bags, because by feeding oxygen into it, you're making 3-4 times more ozone, and you need the high concentration for doing body bags. Like basically a body bag is you get yourself a big plastic bag up to your neck after you've sweated through a sauna or a warm bath or shower. You get in and you leave yourself wet, and you put the ozone and you just leave it for an hour. It's a body bag.
The sauna, the thing, the tent, the
Yeah,
portable sauna.
the sauna tent, the little tent things. That's what I used instead of a garbage bag. There, you can do anal and vaginal insufflations.
Yeah,
For
but you
women,
can't use the sauna when you're doing the ozone, right? Because it has to be cool.
well, you turn it down. Once you steam, you start sweating, you turn it down, because the heat will kill ozone.
Yeah, the heat. So when you wash your fruits and vegetables, it has to be
Cold water. The colder, the better.
Yeah.
The more cold the water, the more ozone the water can hold. We have also an ozone generator on our washing machine for our clothes. It's a unit just for the washing machines.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, washing our clothes with ozone, basically only ozone and a little bit of baking soda, nothing else. We don't use soap. I haven't used soap in many, many years.
Yeah, baking soda is more than enough.
The clothes are fresh, clean. To get out stains, some stains, is going to be difficult and stuff, but there's things you can use on stains, depending what stain it is, naturally, lemons and stuff, and vinegars and hydrogen peroxide, many things. You can use some natural soaps and scrub it in. We use this product called Simple Green. It's like 99 point something % biodegradable. It's been around for many, many, many years. One of the few natural products, one of the first natural products out there. And it's an all-around cleaner. We use it for cleaning counters, toilets, and so on and so forth. Non-toxic. But you know, ozone. What else can you do? For women, it's much better to do vaginal insufflation than anal, because if you do anal, you got to give yourself an enema first. And you have to know the rates of volume that you have to put in. There's charts on the internet you can read. The ozone can be injected into the body, straight into the bloodstream. It could be injected straight into joints. There's a few doctors, Dr. Rowan in California. He's many successful stories of people walking in with severe pain and walking out with no pain, just with one injection into a joint. And he shows x-rays of cartilage regenerating, you know, after whatever amount of injections over a period of months, you know. Because the ozone goes in, and what is it doing? It's in a plasma state. It's moving energy. So the body can go in and do the repair. It's not the ozone doing the repair. It's the body. It's just there's a blockage because of obstructions, and the ozone is just assisting to help move energy. That's all it's doing. All right, it's a strong oxidizer in physicality, but on the plasmatic side, it's doing many more things. You can ozonate water and drink it, but we don't drink water. You can use that water for neti pot.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Works amazing.
You can rinse your mouth. You can, you know, just put the tube into your mouth. You got to be very, very, very careful, and just breathe from your nose and just let gas escape out of the other part of the mouth. Be very, very careful. If you're not, you're going to take in a lot of ozone. Make sure, if you're going to try that, make sure you have lemon juice and vitamin C handy, because if you take in too much ozone, it's going to be an unpleasant cough. So that's the antidote. But yeah, you can do the ozonated water. Like cold water, if you put ice in it, it holds more ozone.
If you want to kill any bugs, it kills pretty much everything.
Kills bugs?
No?
I don't know about that.
Microbes.
Well, bacteria, fungus.
But something like bed bugs. No?
I don't know. It'll kill bed bugs. It depends if the bug is aerobic or anaerobic. If it's anaerobic, it's not going to kill it.
But the
If
microbes.
it's a high dosages, and it may, I don't know.
Bacteria and viruses and this.
Yeah. Yeah, any virus, bacteria, fungus, it destroys them, oxidizes them 99.9999%. All of them. Viruses can't live in the ozone environment. Simple. There's some beauty salons around the world using ozone for like kind of facial things they're doing on the scalp. They have like this kind of thing where it's like a kind of a hat kind of thing that's ozone resistance, and you ozonate the scalp. You can ozonate your feet, you know, your hands separately or whatever, any body part, like I said, the whole body. I remember when I started dry fasting, I was breaking my dry fast with the ozone body bag inside this sauna. It was just amazing, amazing experience. I have it at my mother's now, and she only used it once. I got to bring it back. Start using that again. Ozone, I love ozone. It's awesome.
We have like what, 5-6 machines in the home. He loves ozone.
I have a few.
Also good to me.
Yeah, it's you know.
I mean, like I mean, I can breathe, just that you can breathe easier.
Which one did you get?
Like the water generator, or what it's called the water ozone.
Water ozone.
Ozonator or something.
Yeah. So yeah, does it have an intake?
The dryer.
The dryer?
has a stone. And
Does it have the tube thing that comes?
yeah, tube with a stone.
No, it doesn't have a dryer on the other side?
Just, I mean, part of the thing is has a little fan, right?
No, I know, but a dryer is like a tube with, it's got like these stones inside.
Oh no, I don't think no.
Yeah, so it's like a separate, but it looks like a cylinder.
Some of them have that. It's if you put a dryer on it, the ozone concentration will go way up. That can be easily done on yours, Steve. You just have to open it up and make a little change where the pump is at. You put what did I put in there? I instead of what I did is I opened it up and I put the pump tube, instead of going to the chamber, I put two little holes on the side. I brought one of the hoses outside from the pump and one of the hoses outside from the chamber. So then if you're not if you want to use it the way it was, you just connect them together. And then if you want to put a dryer, you put the dryer in between there, or you can put straight oxygen into the chamber, right? And then with a regulator. So that's what I did with mine. And it's, you know, it makes way more ozone if you even just put a dryer. Like the dryers, they're, I think you can get them like around 20, 30 bucks on Amazon. If you can get them from China, they're like $5, $10. Yeah, there's so many things you can do with ozone. The injection, I wouldn't be doing that stuff unless you really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't really need to do injection.
No.
The insufflations, body bags are very good. The injection is it works faster because it's straight into the bloodstream, the sewer system, so it starts cleaning that up. Yeah, ozone is amazing.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that tool.
Is it going to fix everything? No, but it's helped many people. Many people. I know a friend of mine who taught me about it. He put people, actually two different people that had what they call Lyme's, and had them doing body bags. In 3 months, there was no more sign of Lyme's, just doing the body bags and clean up the diet a little bit and some herbal teas. That's it. Simple. But you have to be, you know, consistent, doing it every day. Because it's just whatever they call Lyme's, just probably some kind of viral thing. I don't know, whatever.
It's viral.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We don't. What is that even?
Yeah. Well, what is it? We don't. Who knows? It's an energy packet. That's all.
Yeah, energy packet. That makes sense.
The ozone will take care of it.
It's a tick. You get it from a tick.
Well, that's what they say, right?
Oh yeah, that's what they say.
It's a tick bite from a deer. What's called a deer tick.
Yeah.
First discovered here in Connecticut.
Really?
Town of Lyme. Yep, it's right down the road.
It's called Lyme for what?
Named after the town it was discovered in.
Really?
Lyme, Connecticut.
Yeah, because
we have all kinds of things here. We had one of their labs on an island off the coast.
You can ozonate a fish tank. They love ozone. Clean it up, you know, freshen it up.
I bet.
Hey, Steve, how long is the Connecticut coastline?
90 miles.
90 miles.
90, something like that.
I never think of it much. You have islands in Connecticut?
A bunch of them. most of the coastline protected. So Long Island protects it.
Yeah.
Very little open ocean till you get to Rhode Island. Not a bad place.
Yeah, I have a friend. From New Jersey who they live in Brooklyn now. He and his wife has Lyme's disease. She's had it for like 20 years,
Wow.
so to speak.
Terrible.
Blasted out.
Yep.
There were a few people who came to the Master Fast, and they were absolutely amazed by, they came saying they have Lyme disease and all the symptoms, and they were absolutely amazed by the transformation. One of them did 108, and pretty much everything reversed. But then, I don't know, some people don't come back much after.
Some people don't want to share. It's interesting.
Yeah, and I'm sure people have trouble after breaking. That's why, we do our best to stay connected.
I love to read the groups. Every once in a while, I'll search something up. Really, it's such a good repository. Yeah, and like an old comment will come up. It's just so beautiful. What everything that it's just the most beautiful story ever ever told. What's happened in this group.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing regularly and for helping people as well.
Yeah, it helps a lot of people when people share. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know that one word is click.
Yeah.
You never know who will say it either.
Like there's a lot of information in the Facebook group, but hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah.
It would be sad to lose all that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way we can download everything somehow. The whole shebang. I gotta find out.
Gotta figure that out. Make it out. Yeah, comments are beautiful, and how people support each other.
You guys were talking. Could I just ask, like, real quick, nuts and bolts question, real quick? Do you know, like, one serving of pudding? How much would you estimate of the bentonite is in one serving of pudding? Because like sometimes I don't have enough to make a full mixture, a whole pound of psyllium. So like, would you estimate like 1/8 of a teaspoon of bentonite is in a serving?
Well,
What do you mean, a tablespoon?
No, 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Yeah, but what's a serving?
A serving is would be 4 tablespoons of psyllium.
Maximum.
And huh?
Oh, the maximum amount. Okay. I don't know. I haven't worked it out.
The pounds, you have to figure out what a pound, if there's a pound, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
No, I'm saying psyllium, the pound, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
2 tablespoons of each, the charcoal and the bentonite.
If you don't have a pound, divide it in half to half a pound, divide everything else in half, or divide it in a quarter.
Yeah.
Keep it.
all right, I'll figure it out, because it's like it's a small amount, and I was guessing it was like 1/8 of a teaspoon.
What I would, what I do usually is 1 pound of psyllium, 4 tablespoons of bentonite, and 4 of charcoal, right? And then mix that. And then if you want to make it less, you make
Ounces, isn't it ounces?
I go by tablespoon.
4 tablespoons of bentonite is a lot, isn't it?
For a whole pound.
For a pound of psyllium.
I wouldn't go more clay than that. That's for sure.
For a whole pound of psyllium.
Yeah, it's not a lot. Works well. You can adjust the charcoal a little bit more if you like, but I wouldn't go more with more clay. It's just too much weight after.
Yeah, because I just go on the light side because like I went through a whole pound of psyllium, so now I had to go do it on the fly with single amounts, like single servings.
Usually the psyllium comes in a pound packages.
I know this comes in 12 ounces,
Oh,
so I do, you know, I have to do 1 1/3.
divided by ounces.
Yeah, it's fine. I was just wondering. The other thing I wanted to ask you was, Rana, you guys were talking about the gravity feed machines that use gravity. Is there a specific name for that? Because I'm gonna probably go have a professional colonic, and I was just wondering, like, if I could, like, do you have a name for that, or is it just called gravity feed?
Is it gravity?
You know, I mean, in Canada, the machine that I use is from BC.
From what?
From British Columbia, but I'm sure in the States they have different machines, different companies. So there's no one company, but
I don't mean the company. I meant what the type of machine is called.
It's just asked is
Gravity fed, that's just
gravity
right.
fed, and that's it. Because some people don't use any machines; they use just a big jug.
Yeah. So as long as it's gravity, you're good. Machine or not machine, it doesn't have to be machine. I think in the States it has to be a machine. I think in the US they want them to use machines only. Here we still have the jugs some people use, but yeah. Anyways, just ask them gravity when you call.
Yeah. But that's interesting. So you have one that's just strictly a giant jug. It has nothing to do with like running through, like I thought it was a closed system. So wouldn't you have to have?
Yeah, I have a machine, but the machine that I have goes either pressure or gravity. I have 2 options.
Okay.
So I use only gravity.
It's a $10,000 machine.
Really? 10,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Yeah.
It's got UV lights. It's got filters.
But it's a simple machine, really.
It's a Ferrari of colonics.
It's for,
But you can also make one that's strictly gravity. Like you can make a system if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
what do you mean you can make a system?
It's the jugs. You know the spring water jugs, the plastic ones that people buy their water in. What are they? 10 gallons? No.
5 gallons.
They cut off the top of that and they put a holes in the bottom. It's closed system means that you have a speculum going in the anus, and the speculum has an inlet for the water going in, and then the big tube that connects is your waste going out. That's what a closed system means.
So
it means you're releasing inside the hose.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Out in the open, like with the Colima.
Yeah.
Or the enema.
That's what closed means.
It's in a tube. So actually, I don't smell anything, right? If the person doesn't leak, I don't smell anything. But if it's an open system, I would smell it, right? You would smell everything. If you go to an open system colonic, it will be like, oh, in the air, you can smell, because it's out in the open, you know. So yeah, closed system, colonic. I mean, colonic is really closed system. Well, there's also open system colonic, which is like a machine as well. And
it's more like a Colima, not a colonic.
But it's more like a
they call it colonic machine.
I mean, it is a colonic, but it's an open system colonic. The Colima is an open system colonic. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Closed system, we found that you get more release with the closed, right?
Well, you can put much more water through the person.
Yeah. That's the difference.
With the closed versus open. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You know,
you can only put so
in the
much
same amount of time.
Colima. Why? Because the insert is very thin for the Colima and the enema, right? So you can only put so much. Otherwise, you start leaking. But with the colonic, the insert is much thicker. And so you can't really leak as much. So you can put more water.
Yeah, I had one done like a long time ago, and it was a machine, but it was really old and like
Yeah.
kind of like suspect looking. It was an older person, and it was like, okay, whatever. But it worked great.
As long as everything's clean,
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you use.
Yeah.
For stuff like that, bleach.
Bleach.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean to clean it?
Yeah, because you know, over here, if when they come and inspect, if they don't see bleach, they'll close you down. As long as you're using bleach, because my friend, he uses the metal speculums, the stainless steel ones, the surgical ones, and we have what do they call that? Where they put the high heat.
Autoclave.
Sorry?
Autoclave.
An autoclave, yeah.
Yeah, like to
Disinfect it, yeah, with high heat.
Yeah, autoclave.
He's got to send in swabs to the ministry, to the lab to get it checked every, I don't know if it's every month or every 3 months, right? And he's never had any problems. So in 30 years he's been doing it. So yeah, you know, everything needs to be thoroughly cleaned properly, and that's it. It's common sense to clean things. But
yeah, most people use disposable.
yeah, he's been inspected, and they said, oh yeah, I see your bleach there, you know, because if you don't have bleach, man, no, bleach is nasty, but it cleans, it disinfects. You know, if you know how to use it properly, it's safe. It's just high alkaline substance. But yeah, interesting how you know, enemas were discovered in the pyramids. The Egyptians used to use them.
Yeah, there are drawings by the Egyptians, right? It's that old.
There's
So
only 2 generations ago that everybody had one. Everybody had an enema bag hanging in their bathroom.
He had it.
I remember my grandparents.
Yeah.
That was part of their hygiene. That wasn't that long ago.
like for a while, when was it? Not sure, for like a few years, I think it was in the late 90s, early 2000. It was hard to find enema bags anywhere. They took them off the freaking market, man. It was very difficult to find enema bags.
When I bought mine, I only bought it online. Couldn't find it here. It's hard to find.
Yeah,
Still,
like Walmart used to
think-
have them. I haven't seen them for a long time now.
Yeah.
It's really strange, but hey,
We have them here.
Yeah. And health food.
They're called flints. It's like they have the kind of cornered the market.
all is well, as long as you keep washing.
That was the strangest part for me when starting the lifestyle. That was the thing. Like I would have done it earlier even, but I think that was, yeah.
What? I gotta shove this thing up my arse.
Yeah, it's very, you know. I remember when we were little. We're from Belarus. Family's from Belarus. So I remember our parents doing that for us when we were sick, maybe once or twice, like a little one.
Yeah.
So like I had some, like a little light in the back, and researched it some more. Yeah, but I imagine for someone that's never even come near it.
There's a lot of
It's
people
very,
who are anal
yeah.
enemas.
Yeah. No, the first few days, why do I have to put myself through dealing with so much shit?
Yeah, if you look at some of the posts,
Yeah, it's very clear, simple, effective.
quite,
There's nothing wrong with it.
quite a few people. Do I have to do enemas?
Yeah.
And some people don't do them. We find out they're not doing them. One guy ended up in the hospital
That's crazy.
way back. He was so plugged up, and he wasn't doing them. He said he was, and he wasn't. Then he
There's a
wanted to
couple
be
days
saved.
to get used to. It's no big deal.
Then he wanted to be saved in the hospital.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Come and give you an enema? It's like, okay, have fun. The being, it's just being stupid. It's so simple.
It's liberating. It really is. It's truly liberating. I don't know, thankfully I had the enthusiastic encouragement of Jonathan Mincaboni.
Yeah.
Just do it, man. Just do it. Just, I hadn't even started. He was, just do it. Just try it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve, a definite learning curve to the board.
Yeah.
The enema bag was easy. The freaking Kalima board was first Kalima. Pretty.
You could put a seal around the toilet and kind of maybe, and
It's just the first one.
Yeah, just the first one. Then it turns into a routine. Yeah, you do learn quick.
Real quick.
But,
all is well.
Steve, did you start on the Master Fast?
What's that?
Did you start your enemas on the Master Fast?
Yeah.
Before that, you didn't do them? Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah. No, I was doing it with Fallen Spirit. That's when I started with the enema.
Oh, okay. But not as much. Yeah.
No, not at all.
When because of what we're doing, it's such aggressive cleanse. You gotta wash, man. You gotta wash. Drinking raw juice.
They concentrate on they focus on the diet in his protocol, which
Yeah.
I mean it's okay, but it wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah, once you start cleaning up your diet and clean up, but drinking raw juice.
Well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. That's what got me here, where I am today.
Yeah, it's Arnold there.
Funny how the path came about. It's just weird how things take place.
Yeah.
You start at one thing and end up at a whole different place. Like, how did I get here?
Everything's for purpose.
Absolutely. It has nothing to do with me. I was called, period. I believe that. I didn't.
Look at, how long has it been? 1.5 years now? More?
Yeah, a little more. January. Yeah, just a little over. Crazy.
We've just begun.
Yep.
All the fun.
So you're saying you started last January?
With Masterfest, yeah.
Before January, before last year.
That's what I mean.
January 3rd of 19. Fasted over 200 days last year.
Amazing. Yeah, I watched your interview. So inspiring.
I never made the 108 though. That's still it.
Don't worry, Steve.
I know.
When it's time,
You'll get there.
maybe 180. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe it's this one. I don't know.
It's you had some challenges, man, because of that The chemo, I'm absolutely.
It's the only reason I had a break. Pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you
God,
got.
I was trying to freaking muscle through that. I couldn't do it.
I'm glad you got through it because, man, oh man. Oh, boy.
Funny though, the first, after the first one, I think the first one was 63 days. I think the last, it got bad around 40. I just kept going.
Yeah.
But the subsequent fast after that frame kept closing down to where I think the last one, I was in that kind of pain within 5 days.
The kidney pain?
It's not fun when you have severe.
Oh,
You had stones, right?
I was literally doubling over. Physically though, I had no, it was bad.
Amazing. It goes deeper so much faster.
Yeah.
It's just that.
And one fast, near the end of the year, it was just gone.
It's the chemo was coming out. I can assure. You smelled it.
Yep.
Incredible.
I can feel it in the drives now sometimes.
Have you ever heard of anybody?
There's still shit in there.
Have you ever heard of anybody passing a kidney stone like on the system?
Yeah, there's Ed Wellville. He shared.
Because that's like really painful.
I'm sure we release them without knowing.
Yeah, because when you're on the protocol, stuff like that will actually start dissolving and so on and so forth. Yeah. So instead of a stone, it may come out as sand, like it did for me.
Yeah,
it was just like urinating sand, literally. I showed the videos. In Italy, man, it was like that much heavy sediment in the bottom of the jar. And
but it wasn't so painful.
No, it was actually relieving as it was coming out, man. My kidneys felt amazing. First time in my life.
Wow.
It was awesome because you can feel it coming out. It's a weird feeling. I don't know, you have to experience it.
That was the longest.
Some people will want to drink that. I don't know, man.
Was that after your first 12-day drive?
That's the one they really opened up. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So, little by little, we open up the drives as long as we're maintaining a clean eating lifestyle. If we're eating heavy foods, I can't see any reason to go on long drives. It'll be too hard on the body. I see people out there doing it in different groups. Let them do it. It's not prudent. I don't see it as prudent from the understanding we have. But anyway, what do we know?
Some of the members, what are some of the members? I don't know how long Rana's gone on a dry, but what are some of the other figures for longer dry fasts in the group?
I have kept it at 3 maximum because I'm working on the lifestyle. I think,
what about are there any people who have done longer than 5 or 10?
Gabriela did 15.
Yeah, Gabriela, he really went. He did 15. He did 40. I think he did 30 or 40 in a short period of time of a couple of months. And that's when he got his feeling back. He was paralyzed on his right side. And I watched him do his first pull-up and first swim. Yeah.
And what caused the paralyzation?
He was in a competition of parachuting from his
God.
And he hit the water at 80, 90 mile an hour.
Yeah, he was in coma.
And then,
many operations, coma,
operations
and said, blah, blah, blah.
12
a lot of drugs.
Extreme pain. Like he can't even describe.
He's one who was very, very determined. he had to heal.
Yeah, because
You know what I mean? Not many people are going to do it.
So what's he doing now?
He's still he's not in the group, but he still makes his order of herbs.
I'm sure
And he got complete use of his left side back.
Yeah, he's like 80%, 90% back feeling. People who saw him before and after, they couldn't believe the difference. So, hey man, everything's possible, guys. Whether you believe it or not doesn't matter, because we've seen it so many times. We've seen it. So, you know, you can regenerate nerves, you can regenerate bones can straighten out, you can regenerate anything. You know, your eyes,
with us from the beginning.
your bowels regenerate, your organs regenerate, all the tissue, the skin regenerate, everything can regenerate. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. Everything's based on the same principle, the atom. So it doesn't matter what it is in the physicality. You can regenerate it, right? You just need to be determined and persistent, consistent. Persistent, consistent. As a lifestyle, not as an event. You have to keep it as a lifestyle.
Because then you have people like with broken necks, like they're a C4 quadriplegic.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate test, you know, like when your spinal cord.
What's the difference, John?
No, I'm just saying like that would be the ultimate test.
Transformation.
I don't see any difference. It's back to the atom, John. Everything's energy. If somebody is determined enough, they will heal. We had one guy way back who was quadriplegic, yeah. And he started, and he felt, one of his fingers, I think it was his pinky finger, the first time since the years of his accident. He was in a bad automobile accident. And then the emotions got a hold and disappeared. Haven't heard back from him.
Yeah, because like in the Amazon world, there are some people who are quadriplegic who are going down there and doing master teacher, you know, plant medicine.
Yeah,
and like apparently one woman, a quadriplegic, was making good progress with plant medicine down there. She couldn't walk or anything, but she was getting a lot of her mobility back.
All she needed to do was fast.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, well,
lifestyle, right?
You know,
I think
the plant medicine is one of the main things we use because we understand these highly intelligent, elevated beings are there to help us. And what they really do their magic when you're in a fasting state. Like you see them do work when you're in an eating state, but when you're in a fasting state, it's a whole different ballgame using herbs, a whole different ballgame. And we see the effects,
there are
right?
so many different plant
We
medicines.
see the effects of what people have experienced over and over and over. The thing is somebody willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how long it may take, no matter what? And that's very few will be able to answer that as yes. Very, very few. And the ones who do, you'll see enormous transformations happen that is like impossible, miracles, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, like we've seen, you know, Ed Wellville, he has the undiagnosed whatever he has, and he's making progress year after year after year. You know, I've watched him in his first Master Fast. He did, I can't remember. He walked the furthest he walked since his challenge that he had. He got out of his thing and he walked. You know, and just lately he posted not that long ago. He was in a farmer's market walking around. Somebody was bedridden. So what are you willing to do? You know.
And we are living the lifestyle, so it's not like we're always master fasting. You know,
you're on and off. But it's your lifestyle. Like you know, I remember talking to Ed way back when he started. I go, we got to work on the emotions, Ed. We got to work on the emotions. Got to work on the emotions. And finally, you know, after a couple of years, he started getting it right. After 2-3 years, he started getting it and started expanding and started opening up in different areas and working more on himself. It's all about the emotions. That's what we are going to come to the surface.
Yep.
And if
They're
you're
coming.
not ready to work on that, you're going to go back to food. You're not going to continue. We've seen it thousands of times, thousands. So what's the difference between, you know, the miracles and not miracles? It's that people
Consistency.
that are willing to be consistent and make that commitment and face those mirrors, because they're going to come up.
It's not about how fast, but about, you know, consistency.
You know, we've had so many miracles. Like I forgot them, but there's so many. Just look at the testimonials, the videos. So many. Kelly Kibbe, my God, what she went through.
Oh,
My goodness gracious. If everybody's gone through. You know, Sarah's been through.
There's no way you don't
quite a
go
bit,
through,
and
through big, huge transformations.
some
on
people,
both
man,
sides.
oh man, like hats off, man, that they continued.
People feeling extreme pain in their bones after like years and years of breaking their bones, thinking it was completely healed, but then they feel extreme pain in that area.
For a day or two, and boom, gone.
I felt one of my toes that I broke on I think it was a dry fast. I felt it. Extreme sharp pain in the bone. I've never felt anything like that before. And it was only for a few seconds.
Wow.
It was absolutely amazing.
The soul works magic. It's like, forget about any books. You can't write this stuff up. It's so John, just you gotta have that faith and trust in your soul. Not me, not Massifast's roadmap. Do this, and that. That's it. You gotta have the trust that in your soul, which is, you know, the energy that created your physicality, and that's the only thing that's going to be able to heal you. And if you can maintain that faith and that trust, you just follow the roadmap.
And that comes with experience. At the beginning, you follow the protocol, and then slowly, your faith becomes stronger and stronger. You're not gonna have strong faith from the beginning.
That's what gets me off. I get high on listening to people's stories.
I know, it goes crazy.
This is why I'm still here 5 years.
He loves it. I remember like Latrice.
Because all those years
Validation.
on my own, and you know, people were just didn't want to listen to anything. So I kind of gave up. It was a big, amazing revelation once we started, you know, putting on social media, and people started, you know, some people started listening, and then watching the transformation. It was awesome, just awesome. So it's we don't have.
No, I was just saying that, like, I used to work with quadriplegics and people with muscular dystrophy and cerebral palsy. Like, I worked with wheelchair users.
Right.
So like I always thought, wow, you know, to reconnect the spinal cord, that would be wonderful.
I've heard of people, you know, severed spinal cords that had them mend just with essential oils, John. Just with essential oils.
Really? Completely mend?
Yeah.
You're talking like full recovery?
Yeah. So it goes.
Yeah.
This is many years ago. I don't remember where I read it, but if we understand, you know, what is essential oil, right? It's herbs, right? It's the essence, the highest field strength of the plant essence. And what are we doing with essential oils? Emotion. We're feeding the emotion.
The lungs are the emotion, right?
Breathing. What's the most powerful thing that we can remember is a smell, an odor. There was a guy doing scented business cards. He goes, "Nobody will forget you." That was his thing. And if you think about it, you know, memories of odors, man. You know, you're not gonna forget. Like I can't forget that stink that came out of me in my first 40-day fast. You can't forget these things.
He had to open the doors, and that's what, 30 years ago. The doors and the windows and
the whole
everything.
house this was bad, man. It was bad.
Well, it's like now, like everything smells like lemon. Like my hands, like you're squeezing lemons for your drink, and then it's on your hands, and then like I start washing my face with it, and my neck,
Awesome.
and it's like I love the smell of lemons everywhere.
Yeah.
The oil.
It's not sticky. It's oily, but it's not sticky. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. So this is why we suggest, use all the tools. Try all different tools, essential oils, this, that, the other thing. Try them all. The simple burn stick, massage an area. Just use the
Oh,
tools.
that thing's magic.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's the simple things. But the herbs, man, this is the liter of herb bottle, but this is not herbs inside here. But the herbs are just amazing. They're our friends. The GANS materials, it's GANS materials, that we that we use. We use the GANS materials.
Gino, quick question about the GANs. So I wasn't, I haven't had the time to make the GANs material. I know it's simple, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. What is it? Tom Salas out of Mexico. He's actually making some for me. But you mentioned that if you hook it up to a mask, you can do it, like you can inhale it for because meditation for me, I can't do anything less than 2 hours of meditation for it to be effective.
Wow.
But I wanted to. Well, I mean, I look at the amount of meditation I do, like the dose of medicine someone has to take. It's like, how bad is the condition? Well, I have to meditate for 2 hours. Just to work through the emotions and stuff. Because I remember one of the first times I tried it, I only meditated for an hour, and it was almost like stopping, on a Kalima board. Once your body really starts going, you don't stop. You got to keep going to clear it out, Right. So it was like that for meditation with me. It's effective, but I wanted to start incorporating because you had mentioned something about there was a protocol for like creating because I have an engineering mind. I work in engineering, where I was thinking about getting making something, because I bought a mask. I got it from an Army Navy surplus store. It looks like something out of like I don't know, George Orwell dystopian future kind of face mask, but I'm working on an apparatus to attach it. So, because you had mentioned something about just inhaling for like 20 minutes at a stretch.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes. That'd be great if you can do that. You do it through a mask, and then you're breathing through and breathing through the liquid, so it's bubbling.
Right.
You can also do it another way with the little things they have in the hospital for feeding oxygen that go in your nose.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can do it with that, and you put it through the system. But what you're going to have to do is run a little air pump
to
push through. Like you'll have the hose in the GANS material. The only thing passing through is the air, right? The hose is taken in the fields into the air of that. So you're doing it with a little fish tank.
A fish tank water pump. Yeah.
So you pump that and you're breathing that in through the nose, because the best way to take in the fields is through the nose, right? Not if all you can make is something with the mouth, do it. But the best way is through the nose, because we're going with the fields going that way. That's why we're supposed to breathe through our nasal cavity, not through our mouth. And you can do that. Those are one or two ways you can do it. And then, of course, the bottle is a simple way. Fish tank pumps, they're cheap. Huh? We get them like
Yeah, yeah. I've drawn up a little schematic on how I'm going to put it together. I've actually got the plans together. I'm just waiting for the GANs. I know I need to learn how to make it, but it's just
yeah, it's easy. I actually have an old essential oil diffuser that was made with a fish tank pump and a little glass thing. So yeah, it's downstairs. I always wanted to make one of these things with the thing just sitting there and you just breathe it in.
Mm-hmm.
If you nano coat the hose, it would be better. How do you nano coat the hose? With caustic, right?
Mm-hmm.
The outside of the hose, not the inside. You just nano coat it. You got to put it through a caustic cycle. So yeah, a few people that were using the breathing apparatus, they all noticed the effects of it. The thing with GANs, like anything else, your body will only, the beauty about GANs is your body will only use what it needs, no more, even if you're overdoing it with it. It's not like matter state. Matter state, if you're taking in too much, your body is forced to work with it, right? For example, if you eat too much, your body is forced to work with that extra food. GANs is not like that. If you drink too much GANs, your body will only use what it needs. That's the beauty about using GANs. And that's why we like to work with the GANs in the plasma state. And it's amazing. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Geez.
You're talking about an apparatus just to breathe it in?
Yeah. Breathe. Oh yeah. When you're breathing it in, like you're making the commitment to breathe it in, and then all of a sudden your body says, for whatever reason, you're saying, that's it, I'm not doing it today. And I'm not doing it. And then the next day comes, you're not doing it. There's one of two reasons why that will happen. One is the body doesn't require it anymore. The other is the soul is not ready to move on into the realm of balance. Well, the physicality. So those are the two reasons why people will stop. One is you don't need it anymore. The other is you're not ready. So that's the one of the indicators that you can see. So if somebody's not healed and they've stopped doing it, okay, why have they stopped? It's like master fasting, no difference. Why did you stop doing it if you still have work to do? Well, emotions. That's what I want to come and get across. GANs are very interesting. Very interesting. The most amazing story was my friend Giovanni's in Italy, of how he helped his daughter rebuild her brain. It was just GANs material. It was mush from a so-called car accident. She was in a coma. They wrote her off. There was no way that she was going to be back. He brought her back. Brain rebuilt completely. You can see the before and after x-rays. She had broken hips, severed, completely mended, no operational, nothing, just with GANs material. How does that happen? Well, you're working with the essence of soul again, right? The soul and autopilot. That's it. Just GANs material, no diet, no nothing. GANs materials. Making the right mixtures of GANs materials. So that's pretty interesting. And remember also he shared about, because she was in a coma for so long, I don't know if it was one or two of her ankles were seized up completely, they wouldn't move. So what he had done was mix half her urine with the CO2 GANs and made two what we call pain packs, Ziploc bags with the GANs material, wet some material inside them, and you make one twice the size of the other. So one you make, for example, that big, and the other one you make twice as big, and you put one on one side of the foot and one on the other side of the foot, or anywhere in the body. And she was moving her foot in within, I can't remember, he said an hour or a few hours. The nurses couldn't believe it. It freed it up. You know, it removed the blockage. Why the urine? Well, the urine is in a GANS state. And do we drink GANS materials? No, we use their fields. See, when people are drinking it, no, we use their fields. We do it prudently. We don't do it. But what are we doing? We're mixing it with CO2 to bring the balance back. We're not using just the urine. We're mixing it with the CO2 GANS to bring the balance back. Because GANS materials, plasma is always seeking balance, and that's all it knows how to do. That's what plasma does in general. And our soul is energetic state of plasma. So it's always seeking balance. And when you move out of the way and let it do its work, what happens? Everything goes back to balance. And that's why we see what we see with everybody going into a massive fast. And it's awesome. So, wow, we're over 3 hours already. Let's wrap her up and get into meditation for anybody who wants to do that. It's always good if anybody else would want to leave. Thanks so much for joining us. It's always a blast to have you all here.
Thank you.
Keeps us motivated and keeps us going. And
Thank you, guys.
you know,
Hey, John.
Thanks a lot.
you're welcome. No better way to spend our time on a Saturday night. Right? Instead of going out there and getting into whatever trouble we're going to be getting into.
Exactly.
You know, so
See you guys later.
so
Thank you.
Thank you.
I enjoy it, and I continue to do it as long as I can. So let's get comfortable. Feet flat on the floor, or lying down if you want. You can put your hands like this, or the heart mudra if you like. And just get into a very relaxed state. Close your eyes. Focus on that breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. And continue that cycle. And every time you're on the in-breath, focus on the breath, starting on the bottom of the tailbone, the tip of the tailbone. And as you inhale, move that energy up the spine to the top of the head, 1,000-point junction right on the top of the head, the center of the scalp. And on the exhale, comes down the front of the body, back around the groin to the tailbone again, and just continue focusing on that. Bring us in that nice relaxed state. With each breath, we get more and more relaxed. And very quickly, we get into that wonderful, beautiful space, the realms, where everything's possible. And continue focusing on the breath. Meditation is a wonderful time to spend on yourself. Go inwards. When we allow ourselves to be in that master fasting state and direct the soul to work in autopilot, we notice that we're in a meditative state around the clock. And we watch the magic unfold. We don't really need to sit aside and close our eyes because we're in that state. And the longer you go, the more you connect and the more you can feel the high field strength of the soul working its magic in the physical body. Continue focusing on that breath. But sitting there and connecting with yourself, it's a beautiful, wonderful place to be. We can feel the field strength build up. We can feel ourselves more rested, more energetic, as the energy flows through our physicality from the tip of our toes to the top of our head and beyond. Today, let's take a little journey as we dive deep into the abyss of soul. We can go anywhere we like. Today we'll take a dive into the deep ocean. Just picture yourself just floating away out of the body, moving towards the Atlantic Ocean. Diving deep into the ocean. As we hit the water, splash, going into the water, moving down into the depths of the ocean. You start seeing a whole different world. Stingrays, sharks, whales, dolphins, as we're moving deeper into the ocean. We see it's so full of life and wonderful, beautiful colors of all the fish. See a large octopus swimming by, having a look. Amazing, intelligent being. Octopuses are, as are all life forms. Creation works its magic in every single life form. continues focusing on the breath as we're swimming in the deep sea ocean. We're going deeper and deeper. The water's, the light is not penetrating at the extreme depths, but because we are beings of light, we are lighting up our way so that we can see with clarity everything around us as we move deeper and deeper into the depths of the ocean. All kinds of different creatures. As we move deeper and deeper. Continuously focusing on the breath. As we come to the bottom of the ocean, it's a very interesting place with very interesting creatures. Creation continues to create. There's, I think it was a Russian fellow fisherman was posting all kinds of weird creatures he pulled out of the ocean. Things that you would never even believe existed. Very freaky looking things. And they're all around us at these depths, at the bottom of the ocean. As we're walking around the bottom of the ocean, illuminating the darkness with our light, all these wonderful creatures become visible. Over in the distance, as we're continuously walking, we see a shipwreck. We walk towards the shipwreck. Looks like an old ship. as we approach the ship, we see it's preserved perfectly in the depths of the ocean. As we go inside, we come across a large chest. We reach over to open up this chest. And in the chest, we see it's full of gold. It could be an old pirate ship. Everything is preserved perfectly. What are we going to do with all this gold? Reach over to pick up a bar. And the bar starts to transform into water. Just disappears from our hands. Reach out for another one and the same thing. Reach out for another one and the same thing. It's returning back to where it came from. One of the elements of the ocean. And every time we pick one up, we feel our field strength get higher and higher. And continue until there's no more bars left. It's an amazing feeling. As we pick up the last bar, as it vanishes, just like all the other bars. The chest is now empty. We close the chest. Start moving back out of the boat, ship. And we start swimming back up, floating, moving up from the depths of the ocean, head back to the surface. As we're moving up, we get close to the surface, and a dolphin comes to approach us. Comes right in front of us and looks us right in the eye. And telepathically, it starts communicating with us. The first question I was asking, why are you humans destroying the planet? It says the solution is simple. Allow nature to do its work. Without interfering. Continuously work on yourself. By working on yourself, you're helping us and nature. Dolphin is giving you a personal message. Pay attention. Remember what the message is. We're ready to go back. Thank the dolphin. Start floating back into our body. As we enter back in our body, continue focusing on the breath. Up the spine, inhale. Down the front of the body, exhale. Continuously focusing on the breath. Build that field strength as we come back. Start moving your feet, your hands. And then you're ready. You can open your eyes. Take a ride.
Powerful.
Very.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you write down what the dolphin said.
Forget that.
All right, folks. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night.